All right, let's see. I got so many cameras going on here.
Oh, sorry, I'm awake now. That was the longest intro. Mystery Encoder.
Hey, you didn't complain last time we did it.
I know. I'm kidding. It was really good. What up, everybody?
All right. Trying to see how the quality's coming through here. It looks a little fuzzy on here. I think I may have too much going on at one time.
Looks all right.
I've got like 4 cameras going here in the studio right now, so we'll find out.
Yeah, buddy.
So let's go ahead and say some hellos to who's in the chat, and then we'll say hello to those who are hanging out here inside the green room. Let me dig up the chat here. So we got a lot of new subscribers this week. I did see 2 die for as a new subscriber, so thank you for the sub, bro. We got a super chat before the show from Gunther. Wishing us good luck. Thank you, Gunther.
Thank you, buddy.
And let's see. Then we've got our mods in the chat room. Mod-wise, who do we have? I can't even tell anymore who we have as mods.
As far as I see here on the bottom here, we got I know Rich Ordello's here.
I know Rich Waddell's here, but he's not showing up as a mod, I guess, because he's showing up as a, yeah, so Rich Waddell in the
Lost his
house,
privileges.
you. Okay, that's my
That's
mods.
it.
And then,
Everyone behave. There's not many.
and let's see, who do we have that are members supporting the show? We've got Kurt Mason, Little Alien, Rich Waddell,
All right, see,
Papa
I
Brad's.
hate to pause you.
Pause me.
Jason M, Kurt Mason, they agree with what I was saying before the show. It's popping noise. Headshake TV agrees too.
I don't know how the heck we're going to fix that at this last minute here. Let's see. Audio. Turn that off. Let's see. Nope, that's the mic. If I go to there. Hang on back here. Still popping.
Yeah.
Crap. All right, well, there's no way we can fix this right now at this late stage, so we're going to deal with it. I
Hey,
apologize
Papa
to everybody
Brad.
listening.
Thank you, Team Encoder, for giving us iiRcadians options for the future. Happy birthday, Sean. Thank you, buddy. I had a blast. Had a great weekend. It was a great birthday. Great couple days.
All right, wrapping up the supporters. Got Mike Hawk Hertz here in the house. Carl O. And let's see, Vader in the house.
Jason.
All right, that's who we got. And then Tanya is showed up. Butterfingers, Shoeshine, Headshake TV, RB Wings, Dan Mowry, Canadian 77, Matt Astra. Who did I miss? If this popping is bothering you guys, maybe when I go to the next microphone, it'll be better. All right, there we go. So that's who we got there. Let's see. Sean, we got some special guests on tonight, don't we?
We do?
Let's go ahead and introduce some folks.
Let's get them in
First, let's see here. Oh, sure, Nix, you hear it too. Thanks. All right, let's change our background to something a little less busy and bring on the person who's complaining about my pops. Nix from ACustomArcade. How you doing, brother?
Nix.
What's up? How's everyone doing?
Doing
All
good.
right, I'm doing great. How about you guys in the chat? So we're going to go around and do some introductions. First, we're going to bring on our second guest here, and that is Mystery Encoder.
Nix forgot his mask.
Really? Because I thought he was wearing one.
It's unfortunate.
I thought he was going for the whole Halloween look. I don't know. All right. So you guys know me and Sean pretty darn well. And those of you who are new to the show, hi, I'm Scott, a.k.a. Rascal. That over there is Sean, a.k.a. Shotgun Sean, Sidekick Sean, sous chef Sean, and many other names he's been called throughout the course
I've been
of
called
the show.
worse. So, yeah.
And then we got Nix over there. Nix, tell us about yourself and also about ACustomArcade, please.
Yeah, so I started ACustomArcade because I was modding AtGames devices behind me. I posted some stuff on Reddit, and people started asking me where they can buy my mods. So I started selling them. So I started the shop. So I make conversion boards for the AtGames stuff. I make a custom power solution for the bit pixels for the pinball and the ALU, and started working with Team Encoder on this guy.
And
you're
I think
all excited
we
about
have
for
that on
iiRcade.
here for, it's out of stock right now. Let's see, where is it? Oh, not seeing it on the What's New page.
It's not under what's new. It's on like accessories or something.
Yeah, people were finding it on the shop before we were ready when I was just giving it to the testers, and so I removed it from the What's New page.
Way to bury the lead. There it is. Okay. Let's see if I can pull that up here on the screen. So this is the latest version. I would show mine, but mine is inside the machine. So I've got the first one with the buttons on top. No arrows to tell you where to hook it up, so I could possibly, pull a B-Kong and just put it in backwards, sideways, and press multiple buttons. But so this is the board, and
Nix has one if you want to put on full screen.
Yeah, I've got both of them. I can show you the difference.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and get rid of that and make you go. Not me. What the heck happened there? That's like me favoriting myself. There you go.
All right, so this is the board that you've seen on B's stream. This was sent to testers.
Okay, that's what I've got.
Yeah, so this is the one that you've seen in some of the videos before. It's exactly the same as the new one. The only difference is, to make it easier to manufacture hundreds of boards, I moved the buttons
Yep.
to the side. So they're right over here instead of right on the top. Because these ones I had to make by hand. So I couldn't do that with hundreds of boards. So
And I think the
redesigned
buttons
it.
on the side will help some people who are afraid to be reaching. And again, we don't have to hit these buttons. We'll talk about them. But maybe once or twice. But for those who are, going to reach in to the back of a cab, start hitting buttons on a baby PCB that's right next to a big PCB in their cabs, they might be a little bit, you know what? I'm afraid I'm going to sit there and hit two of those little silver things, and sparks are going to fly. My hair's going to go up in the air. My cavity or my fillings will all pop out. So I can see that this would make people feel a little bit more comfortable. Now, one thing I want to ask, and then because we're going to kind of talk the hardware, the software, and everything, how did this board come about? And both you guys can speak to this at will. Okay, Nix, you're on. Go for it. How did this board come about?
I got an answer.
How did we?
Let me answer. Let me give a tagline. iiRcade
All right.
went bankrupt.
Hold on. Is that why it says the USB Enabler Bankrupt Edition? Let me put that back on the screen there. Let's see. Yes, right there. Okay. All right. So
Nice.
and we knew that. So iiRcade went bankrupt, and a lot of people were scared as to what the heck's going to happen to their investment. We have people who've bought more than one cab. We have people who've bought. I think I saw a post today. Someone said he spent $1,000 in games that he's bought for his cab or cabs. The good thing is you can share that library between your cabs. But what happens if these things all of a sudden go boom?
Yep.
And a lot of you may be seeing now, because I saw it in the last couple of days, your iiRcade starts asking you for your password for a server that doesn't exist anymore. So you have to constantly hit the coin button to go ahead and get that off the screen, because it's
I
going to
didn't know
nag
that.
you every single day or multiple times a day if you cycle your device like I do.
We'll fix that.
I thought that was just my unit that was doing that, because I got mine from someone who donated it, and I just paid for shipping so I can do the work on the hardware. And so I thought he changed his password or something, and I couldn't
Shout
access
Wow,
it.
that's
But
across the board.
yeah, that's the problem with cloud connected devices.
Bobby
They
Goose
rely
out.
on servers, and if the servers go down or the company goes out of business, like happened, we're all stuck. And we didn't get these devices for free, and we paid for the games. We're out of software, okay, but like these are it's hundreds of dollars of investment that a lot of people have paid.
Yeah.
And if you can't use your device because the cloud server goes down, and like we don't know what else is going to stop working, because some of their servers are still online, some of them are completely off, but we don't know what else is going to break.
Yep, very, very true. This is just the first sign that we're seeing is this pop-up happening on our screens. We've lost the leaderboards. We've lost the ability to delete or reinstall games that we've purchased. So we're kind of in this area, and a lot of us have thought about these things in the last year or so for all of our arcade cabs. What happens? I went ahead and bought a Big Blue Arcade 1-Up. You know why? Because I wanted to play online. If those servers ever go down, great. It's I could play Street Fighter 2 on a cab, but I could play Street Fighter 2 in about 20 different places in my house. I didn't need a cab to play Street Fighter 2 by myself. I needed a cab to play Street Fighter 2 with spectator mode and all that cool stuff online. So these are the kind of things that we all start thinking about. Well, what's the value of my machine going to end up being?
Yep.
And what you guys have done here is basically at least secured our investment for a good time going forward here. So
Awesome. It's great.
hardware-wise, on that board that you designed, how cool was it that they had those two sections of 8 pins, or is it 8 or is it 10?
10.
So there's two 10-pin headers just sitting right there to go ahead and go, I bet you if I did something here, I could go ahead and do a whole bunch of cool stuff. I mean, how did you learn what those two headers were doing, and you could take advantage of them?
So the way that you reverse engineer hardware is, with this particular one, I had experience with rock chip based devices before, so I kind of knew what to look for. So it basically involved Mystery Encoder sending me a bunch of pictures from a microscope and me telling him kind of where to look. And we were doing video streams, and I was sending him pictures with like markups saying, check here, put your multimeter here, check this, check that. He has a logic analyzer from some of his previous hardware escapades. So we were hooking logic analyzers up to different parts of the board to just try to see activity. And when you work with this hardware, you kind of see things in patterns. Like nobody's like taking a rock chip SoC and doing something groundbreaking with it. It's got a bunch of USB ports on it. It's got a bunch of serial ports. It's got a bunch of like specific hardware that makes this thing work. So when you know where to look, you know kind of what to trace. And we just spent what was it, about a week just reverse engineering. Yeah, like I had his pictures with data sheets from Rockchip, and I'm overlaying the pin arrays from the data sheet so I can figure out where on the board these pins might be.
You ever
It was
seen
fun.
that meme with the person where they've got like all the math on the side of them? That was us for a week straight.
Just basically writing stuff in marker on glass and this and that, and just going total bonkers.
And a lot of me saying, hey, I'll bet you it's those pins right there that are right there. Like, I guarantee you that's what it is. And then that's exactly what it ends up being. So
yeah.
And then that ended up being really sweet.
It's funny because when doing this stuff, one of the things, so I'm a security professional by trade, and one of the things that is easy for me to do is get in somebody else's head. And when they're constantly telling us this is secure, this is secure, this is secure, and you see some headers there, you're like, they put it there. They did that. And on the gold board, NIX traced USB port to what on the board it's labeled as marquee control. And there's a USB port there that seems to be the same programming port. So it's like, I don't know, just the stuff they do. Their idea of security is just hiding stuff from you. That's
Well, and that was, the good part is you added a USB port that never existed.
Yeah.
On the Gen 1s. The Gen 2s, Golds, whatever you want to call them. By the way, Emmy, how many different flavors were there going to be? 4, I think, you found inside the XML files? The silver, gold, diamond.
Oh, yeah. Those weren't XML files. Those were some low firmware stuff. There was quite a few different ones. I know so I don't know what board it would be considered, but I know there was a reference or spec board prior to even the Gen 1, and I think the Gen 1 is referred to as Diamond. So you've got Diamond, and then you've got your gold board, and then, that's, I don't know.
That was interesting stuff.
But there's at least 2 or 3 others.
Before I go much further, we have a special shout out to give. One of our viewers, Goofyfoot, wants me to go ahead and say hi to Mrs. Goofyfoot, aka Gidget. Hope you're watching the show right now, Gidget. Thanks for hanging out and with Mr. Goofyfoot and watching us.
Nice.
All right, so we got a hardware board figured out. This hardware board gives us a couple of things. One is easy, a USB port. What's the USB port for? Mostly people think a light gun. Although B turned me on to the beautiful fact that, you know what? I could power my GRS gates off of that USB also. This turns into like a magical all-in-one thing. It's almost cleaning my windows and everything else. So you got that going on. There's 2 buttons on there to put it into different modes, correct?
Yep.
All right. Yep. I like what they're labeled, the go for broke and the mystery button.
Yeah, that's great.
I like the sense of humor that you apply to this. So we got that going on, and then there is the other USB-C used to communicate with the board. And that's where we kind of get, because if you just put the board in by itself, all you basically bought yourself is a USB port. Huh?
I said you should have Nick sitting here pointing it out with his finger on the board while you're going over it.
Yep.
Well,
Come on, man, we're
You know,
professionals.
Nix has actually put up some pretty good documentation on the site, I do believe.
Yeah.
I can't find it right now, but I know it's out there. I swear it is.
ACustomArcade.com/documentation.
/documentation.
And he also includes a QR code in the package you can scan with your phone that'll
Yep.
take you there, I believe.
Because QR codes
So
are the
then even
shiz.
Sean can do it.
What? Hey, I was incorrect. Sean actually did install his board.
Oh, yeah,
So
I did.
kudos.
Make
So
me look
yeah,
like a liar.
it's funny. I think I've seen some of these images before, Nix. They look kind of familiar.
A little bit.
That's
But so
copyrighted.
step by
You're gonna get
steps on
sued.
here and how to get that and move it. Wow, that board looks way different than what mine did.
Yeah, yours
Yeah,
is a
so
green
we've
one, right?
we've noticed there are two versions of the board for the Gen 1. There's the white boards, and then there's the green boards.
Yeah, I've got a green board. Let me see. So I don't have a picture of that on here. Okay, but shows exactly where it goes on there. Yeah, very cool documentation on that. Now, what some people don't understand, and looking at this picture right here, that control deck, is basically where the motherboard is. For those of you who have not modded your iiRcade in any way, shape, or form, that is where the PCB is on the Gen 1s. So in order to get to it, like I said, you follow these instructions on how to take out the control deck, and then be careful because your IR glass or your other, bezel is going to just slide right the hell down, your plexi. That's great in the glass, too. That thing just makes a nice thunk when it slides down unexpectedly. I swear I'm about to put L brackets down there to go ahead and just hold it in frigging place so it never moves. So you got to take this thing apart. Now, if you're going to just put the board on, as you can see, it just goes onto this one section here, plugs right on, and you're only going to need to access those two buttons, as we said, once or twice. Basically, you're going to flash the board, and then you're going to back up the board. So that way you have it's safe. If you do it all
The
one
opposite.
shot, it's going to be
You
just
back
one
up,
press of
then
these
you
buttons.
flash.
The what?
I said the opposite. You back up, then you flash.
Oh.
I think
I'm
yeah.
trying
What's
to
the
pull-
number
I'm
one?
trying to pull a
number
B
one
here,
backup?
okay?
Do things properly sometimes.
Yeah, well, I learned today how long that backup takes. You gave me a kind of forewarning.
Yep.
I started it at 2:13 p.m. Eastern, and while we were getting ready for the show at 8:43, it had just finished.
Woo!
So I was 6.5 hours to back up all
Worth it.
19 partitions.
Worth
Told you
it.
it took me over 3 hours for a 64 gig, and you've got a 128.
Okay, you
Oh,
told me
that's
you told me it
why.
was
Yeah.
3, and then
I
a
said
128
3
should be
plus,
6.
In
Yeah,
fairness, but
there's
no,
some plus
I mean,
in there.
But
Oh,
people
that's
have
why
to
you have a
understand
green board then?
why, and that's because we're not just backing up your games. We are backing up the entire quote unquote hard drive of this system, so that even in case the system breaks from some kind of corruption in the OS or whatever else, you are doing a full restoration of it if you have to restore from that backup. It's
Yep.
not just
Basically, we're cloning the drives.
Yep.
For layman's terms. So again, if you're only going to put this in and you're going to hit those buttons once to do your backup and then your flash, you should not need to hit those buttons again. You could actually put the board back into the control deck if you want. Run the USB cable through one of those vent slots inside the control deck,
Yep.
and just have that hanging out the back in case you do want to connect to it for reasons that we'll talk about later on.
And the USB-C cable that Nix includes very conveniently also has like a little Velcro strap on it. And so when I did mine, I just ran it through the bottom of those vents and Velcro strapped it up to the control panel so that it just sits there.
Okay, that's right. You said you ran yours down the vents on the bottom front,
Yeah,
the part
instead
that
of the back.
overhangs the
Yeah, and that way if I
the
need
bar
to bring
top.
my laptop up to the front of the cab or whatever. That's the other nice thing about these. They're bar tops. So if anybody says that their computer's in another room, you disconnect the damn thing and go
Yeah.
take it into the next to your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take out those 4 giant thumb screws inside the
Yeah, man.
thing and just take it with you.
Yep.
Or you could do like I've seen that one photograph. I got to find that photograph. Me and MCAP had it on our show where it had some guy just in his pool with the bar top right there at the edge of the
Oh
pool
yeah,
while
that's
he's
like
playing.
that was in the. I think wasn't that in the Kickstarter? No, I don't know.
It wasn't in the
might have been.
Kickstarter, but it was
It's
I
an
think like
old photo though. I remember seeing that.
CNET or one of those other places used that photo. So it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So You can go ahead and put it all back together. In some cases, you may not want to. I had a very foolish notion at about 1 something in the morning when I was putting the board in. I was like, crap, I've already got this thing taken apart. I've got these GRS gates sitting around I've been meaning to put in. What the heck? So I've got boards just laying loose inside there. I didn't put the bottom tray back on mine, but your mileage may vary as to how you want to do it, but you can keep it as neat and clean as you want,
Yeah.
or just as messy and accessible for future mods, also. So that is the hardware portion of it. Let's go ahead and take that off our screen. Somewhere there's a remove button. There it is. All right, so we got that going on. Now, the magic after this is basically in the software, which so far, since those beta boards came out, or whatever pre-release boards came out, that software has grown so much. I mean, just the actual screen size alone. I mean, I remember that thing was like this little dialogue box about this big, and now it's like, this. It's got modules and buttons and all sorts of cool stuff, and blaming everybody for everything on the bottom there. I noticed that. I love those little. I love those little quips back, down there.
What's up with Meatball Saucy really quick?
Although there are a couple of those that I
It's
do
not
think are
Sean's
true.
fault. It's not Sean's fault that Metal Slug's gone.
I thought it was Step's fault, is what it said.
No, I thought it was Nix's fault.
Oh, wasn't it B Kong?
I think so. It's
Wait,
definitely
hold it.
Kong's
No,
fault. He
no
pressed the C
iiRcades
button.
were harmed in the making of this,
Yeah, exactly.
except B's.
Yep.
I love that little quote. And anybody who spends any time in this software, once you do get it running, there's just a whole bunch of little quips that run on the bottom there. That is it semi-random, or did you just make all of those and it just shuffles?
So it's semi-random. All of them are pre-generated quotes. Some of it's actually written by ChatGPT for fun. So there's some really weird ones that say putting the fun back in bankruptcy and stuff like that, where it's just like, okay.
Because I was thinking maybe you just had an array of names, an array of quips, and it went ahead and just started blending the two.
Yeah,
randomly.
no, it's just a
overthought
bunch
it.
of names in the same thing together. But I don't know. Maybe in a future application, it'll be an array of names, an array of things that they did or didn't do.
Okay, see, I've actually contributed to the software now. Yes! All right. Awesome
Yeah, buddy.
sauce. Well, again, speaking of this software, so it originally started off pretty simple. You guys tell me, what was the first draft of this software and your first intentions for it? I know you had a bunch of thoughts in your heads as to where things can go, but we always got to start with a version 1.0. What was the picture of 1.0 in your head?
The ability to flash the board, really. I mean, that's any Team Encoder software you've seen. That's usually our first goal, but those cabinets are still alive. They're not dead where we need backups and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, the first and foremost, we have to be able to, overwrite the board with software that lets you do more to the OS in some way, whether that be, run more games or do something else or so on. I do think, though, maybe backing up the board came first, and then I didn't finish that, and then I told B to go flash his board and delete his games. So, yeah, this one might have been backup first.
I think that was the intent.
That would have made sense.
I was doing the backup, and then we found out that there's different boards, and that some of them are 128 gig, and some of them are 64, and then none of us had a 128 gig, and I'm waiting on Steps to give me info on her board, and then I'm waiting for you to give me info on your board, and I gave you some tools to give me some more info, and it was like, all right, I got 3 people I'm waiting on for info right now, and we still have no backup option. We're getting nowhere.
And of course, my usual, I blew you off for 2 days. Yeah, I'll get to it tonight. And
There's a
life
guy in our
happened.
group that took 3 days to do it too. He ended up picking one of these up off Facebook or something, right, Nix? Is that where you got it
Yep.
from? Yeah, and he goes, "Oh, it's a 128 gig," and I go, "Cool," and he's like, "Yeah, I flashed it already." I'm like, "No, you were supposed to back up." He's like, "No, man, how do I play
Oh,
Operation
man.
Wolf?"
Yeah, so mine ended up being flashed before backup as well, because we had things to do and not enough time for me to back up. So my backup is of a flash unit. at
Okay,
this
so that's what
point.
Meatball Saucy was wanting to know.
Okay. Also, Shine asked what happens if his computer goes to sleep. So while you're backing up, that's not going to damage anything. I'd recommend turning those things off.
I can say it actually happened today, and I recovered.
Ettensoft also had the same problem, and I was troubleshooting with them live on YouTube while they were doing it, and they ended up having to kill stuff in Task Manager and stuff like that. But ultimately, if your computer goes to sleep, it's not a big deal. Just make sure that you do get a complete backup and don't try to continue from where it's at, so that you know that you have a solid one.
Mine actually failed. It went to
Yeah.
sleep. It was last I saw was at 4% on that 19th last partition, and then it jumped to 100, and it thought it finished. Yeah, it didn't. Because if 2 hours was perfect, I was like, yeah, he was wrong. I got 2 hours, man. My cable's faster than his. But nope. So I had to start that all over again. I had to reboot for it to kind of get in sync with itself, and then it backed up just fine. So, uh, you know, and I was preparing for it. You and I talked about it last night. Yeah, Scott, make
Yeah.
sure you turn off this and you're that. And I had all those things turned off, but stupid me had the laptop today plugged into a power strip that I hadn't turned on yet. So here I'm thinking I'm all set and good. I've got no sleep happening, on power. It's not going to go wrong. Why does the screen keep turning off? That's weird. Okay. And then it went off and didn't come back on. I was like, ah, shite. That was not a good thing.
If you wanted to, you could also share the software and explain your own experience with it. Since there's honestly, there's been a lot of people on Facebook going, well, the software doesn't exist yet, or it doesn't do this, or it doesn't do that, and it's like, no, you back stuff
So
up.
do you need me to go over there to the computer and show some things?
Oh, is it in a different area? Never mind. That's
It's
all
right behind me. I could go ahead and switch to that camera really fast. Sean loves running the show without me. He does.
Wait, what do you want me to do?
See?
No,
See
I
the
was
look on
just
his
saying
face?
if you
What I
wanted to
say?
show
What
the
I say?
software real quick and kind of go through your own iterative idea of how it's progressed. Oh well, now I can't
All right,
hear
muting
me.
this, changing cameras. I'll be right back.
Wow, now I know Rascal doesn't come prepared. I'm not going on this show anymore.
Yep.
Damn
All
it.
right, let's see. I gotta see where he's going now. Does he want to go? Oh, he wants this one. There you are.
All right, unmute speakers. Unmute. All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Sounds better than the other mic.
Shut up. All right, so now I got to go ahead and share that screen. So let's bring up that software. Oh, there it is, the Mystery Interstellar Arcadian.exe. Oh, well, that would help. Shite. Here's the problem. I'd have to disconnect one of my USB ports.
You don't have to show it. You can just kind of show what the buttons are and explain them from your own experience.
Alrighty.
Just because it's one thing for me to do it, it's a different thing for you to kind of, explain in your own experience as a user of this software what you saw, what you think, and how you used it.
All right.
If that makes sense.
That bad boy. Yeah, nope. Totally gotcha. Not a Chrome tab. It's a Windows, and there it is.
Just so people are aware, we've tried to make this as I'll use the word idiot for lack of better words, but as idiot proof as possible. Like it's as long as you have a backup, it is almost impossible to damage your board in any way that you won't be able to recover from. Unless you're sitting there like tapping pins with a screwdriver or something. Don't do that. That's not my fault if you try things.
All right, so right now it is assuming that my PCB is not detected because, well, hey, it's not. So you had a couple different options here. One, if you've never installed the kind of drivers this needs, you're going to hit 1 to install the drivers. This just goes ahead and sets up, I guess we would call it like the serial emulation through USB for this.
It's literally drivers. It's not even serial emulation. It's just so it can talk to the board.
You gotta love the bottom. All the things that are being said on the bottom.
That's the part we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So after that, once you go ahead and get the drivers in, first thing you want to do is the second button there, back up your board. These are actually numbered so that idiots like me or anybody else should be able to follow along and go step by step and do it in the right order, not the order that I did it in. So you would go ahead and back up your board. Third would be do the flash, and the flash is what allows us to go ahead and do the rest of the stuff in this app. Until we flash it, we do not have a two-way communication street that the app can talk to. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And once you got there, we've got a couple other things. One, you're going to be able to push games to it, and we will talk about that a little bit later. You can make an APK. An APK, that is what the Android blah blah file system, right? It's some kind of Android file package that the iiRcade used to seeing. But this also lets us configure a ROM to make a package out of it that we can push to the iiRcade. Very simply, matter of fact, you've actually added a lot to this since then. So we could pull this up.
We don't see it.
You don't ask, I got to go ahead and share a different screen. You got to love it. I can share my whole.
Okay, yeah, that's.
Okay, well, I will share the entire screen and pray that we don't create a time loop. Bop, 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 bop. Let's see here. Share that entire screen. So, yep, time loop. And minimize that bad boy and tell me, are you seeing it now?
Yep.
Okay. So you could go ahead and create a new file, and that new file creates this APK, this actual package that it understands. So I could just call this test. Then I could go ahead and choose what ROM I want to put into that. I think I have one laying around somewhere. Do I? What's that? I don't know what that game is, but we'll just add it. And then you can go ahead and pick an image for it. I think you have a default image in here that you can choose. And this is a big evolution since the first version you had.
Yeah.
You can say what category. Remember the categories you had on the top of the UI for the iiRcade? So you can choose which one you want to put it in. You can make a new name, or you can choose an existing one. So if you're making a shooter package, call it shooters. Give it a name. And then you have a little bit of work here for the joysticks, what kind the joystick is. Default is 8-way. Most games, you can't go wrong with that. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Default.
Yeah.
And then unless you have specific inputs you got to change, I think you told me we just got to pop this open once.
And then,
and then
automatically
save.
some defaults.
Yep. And then boom, we build the zip file, and it'll be ready for us to later use number 4 and push all of those over there.
Yep.
You have a mechanism that once it installs them, it moves them into a folder structure called installed.
So that you don't end up reinstalling them.
Installing them over and over and over again.
Wow, awesome.
The last 3 buttons you got over here, Game Manager. Is it safe to press or no?
Yeah, it's fine. It just doesn't.
I don't even have a connection yet, so it's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
All right, so the Game Manager allows us to go ahead and do a couple of things. One is just delete a game. But so if I'm correct on this list, you're basically showing the name of the game and then the 2 key flags or bits that are set for those games. Is it online capable? Is it light gun capable?
Yep.
All right. And then these last 2 here are good, are pretty interesting. We just talked about online capable. There is a way to will be a way that these buttons will go ahead and write a configuration file, otherwise known as a hosts file, to redirect your online activity to a server that somebody may or may not have already set up and have tested out. Is that correct?
I guess we'll find out.
Fingers crossed. So that is the software in and of itself. Very simple, small download. It's ever growing. Like I said, this originally only had, 4 or 5 buttons to begin with. And then grew and grew so far. And I could actually see from some of our discussions last night, there may be another 1 or 2 more buttons we're going to, want to have on us.
There's definitely going to have to be at least one more for some stuff. But yeah, it definitely evolved as we've gone through testing and worked with different people on this and done things where it's like, oh no, now that the server's down, there's not really a way to delete games. We might want that because you never know what somebody's pushing. And then, I showed off on B's stream as well as P-Dubs, like, yeah, you can really easily rebuild the zip file, but then the problem is you have these controller configs. So What do we do if Ettensoft played Mortal Kombat, for instance, and Stefan's brother, Matt, who's one of the Ettensoft guys, he complained because he goes, the buttons are wrong. And it was like, oh, so the default configuration won't work for Mortal Kombat because kick is way on the right, and then there's another kick way on the left, and it just doesn't make sense. And so,
Yep.
so then it was like, well, how do we let people edit this input config without having to open a text file? And Sean would probably open it and get afraid of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Well, I
this
mean,
input
even I
configurator-
was a little bit daunted last night of some of the stuff we were doing. I mean, I recognize that you were doing SQL stuff, and everything else. So, but this makes it user friendly. Seriously, user friendly.
And so that was the
Looks
idea,
like a
was
big time.
maybe we can include this input config thing, and you just drop it down and change whatever you need the button to be, and you'll know what the buttons currently are if you deploy it. And we tested this last night. We know that already. If you reinstall the same game, it will update the existing configuration for you.
But by we tested, you told me that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I said, F it, I'm going to try it.
So we're going to say we tested it. That's
There we
that's
go.
the story, and I'm sticking to it. But in any case, let's say you did deploy a ROM or a game or something like that, and you didn't like the way the input was working. You could go reopen your file, go change the inputs, and redeploy the game, and it'll update them for you.
Yep, I think we did that repeatedly last night, didn't we? Oh, that was mad
I don't know what
times.
you're talking about. We tested this functionality. It's working. This is the story.
Oh, there's some serious testing last night, I'm telling you. All right, so that kind of explains the software. And again, hey, thank you, Papa Brad. So Rascal, that the F package APK. Okay. All right. So without further ado, should we show some of this stuff in my my cabinet?
Yeah,
Yes,
I guess.
do it.
All right.
Are you and Nick's going to test out functionality, or are we talking about the other thing?
I don't know. I have
Not the other
no
thing,
idea
no.
what's going on. So this is a surprise to me. I have
How,
no-
how fast can you get to your machine, Nix?
It's right next to me.
Cool. All right. So I've got mine showing here. Let me go ahead and do this in this fashion and move that over there. You're not going to see me anymore, but no one really needs to or wants to. All right. Was the sound coming through, by the way? I couldn't hear it.
I didn't hear the whoosh.
Oh, that's because I had the sound turned down.
There you go.
You hear the whoosh?
I hear whoosh.
We're whooshy.
I don't hear the whoosh. Do you hear whoosh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just not as loud as when I have it on my cabinet.
Yeah, exactly. A lot lower.
Here, is that loud enough?
No. Get that whoosh down.
Got to control my whoosh. All
You
right.
know what?
Kill
There
the
might
whoosh.
be an extra
The whoosh,
two buttons. One for
wash.
kill the whoosh.
All right.
We have to make a button that says kill the whoosh, and when you press it, it makes the whoosh sound.
But by the way, what is
That'd be great.
that? What is that MP3 that plays, or maybe it's a wave or whatever? The sound file.
Oh,
plays-
that's a secret. That's an Easter egg.
Okay. All right. I'll figure it out. All right. So what we did last night was see if we can get any of these things that say online play next to them to actually play online. And I think we actually had our best time with one of the sports titles. This may be something some fans of our lobby arcades remember. Squash. Nix, do you have that on yours?
I think so. Let's see.
So while you're looking for that, and we can pick a different title if you don't. As you remember, it says online play here. The first thing that happens is you get this. Now, everyone is still getting this, the online play versus local play. This is not new right now to
I
the
remember
board.
that. Yeah.
So
Okay.
mostly everyone's playing local right now. We used to actually be able to play online. And boom, I could actually create a room. Let me make one here. I think P2P worked best for this last night. All right, Nix, see if you can see my room and hop in. Sean, let me know if the sound on this turns out to be way too loud.
Will do.
All right.
Did you
What?
find it?
Whoa! Yo!
Nix, are you using his name or did he just jump in?
So Bobby Vu donated his.
Okay, I was
cabinet
gonna
to
say.
Nick.
Okay.
People are just doing
That's
this right now,
amazing.
enjoying the online. A lot of people out there, good stuff.
Well, Bobby just recently subscribed, so I'm thinking, Bobby's got his board. He's already got it set. he saw us doing this live and goes, screw that. I'm going to jump in before Nix does.
That's great. Awesome.
All right, so we just hit A to go ahead and start the game. And if you haven't played this before, Nix, A is a hard hit, B is a soft hit. And the joystick will direct where your hit goes.
So to explain what's going on here, they are actually playing on a server that is owned by Team Encoder using the online services that are emulated. This is not the official iiRcade servers anymore.
Awesome.
All right. Somehow I
don't hear
on a coin right now, though.
I don't hear sound from the game. I hear you, but not sound from the game.
I hear a lot of static.
That too. Yep.
What I'm not seeing is this game starting, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I can't insert coin.
I hear a lot of static.
It's not inserting coins.
No.
You guys might have to try it over.
All right, we'll jump out.
So it's not perfect yet, for sure, but it is working.
I'll try server base this time.
So, fun fact, Ettensoft actually helped me test this at like 1 in the morning when they got off from work before Rascal did.
Nice.
And we're like, and they're like, dude, you made me stay up longer or something like that, because I don't think we went to bed till like 2 or 3.
Damn.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's not 4 a.m. I know.
Yeah,
They're on
you
the
and I
same
both went
time
to-
zone as me.
I know, we both actually stopped at 4 a.m., just different time zones. All right, so you not seen it, Nix?
Stayed
The
up
new
till
room
4.
I created?
There we go.
Yep.
All right. 2, 1. All right. A to
Watch, little
start.
do we know we broke the control input config on both their cabinets, and they can't insert coins on anything anymore.
All right, so I'm seeing
Just our luck.
I can't insert coin.
Yeah, I did. Oop.
Well, gee. How did that happen, Emmy?
I don't know. I didn't do anything. This is you.
Neither one of us can insert coin.
This
Probably
is all
just the
you.
control set up for this game.
Now, we played it last night. All right, let's pick a different one.
You did play it last night.
We did. Let's go all the way the heck out of there. Oh, maybe this might be blocking me.
Nah.
Nah. All right, another online game, one that wasn't too bad. Let's just go for a fighter. Notice how I went right past there? All right, Breaker's Revenge. Let's give that a shot.
Yeah, why you keep going past light gun? I want to know. I want to know.
Nothing to see here, folks.
Hopefully it works. If not, then kind of just, oh well, sorry. It's supposed to work. It did work. Don't know what's wrong. It's working enough. You can see it do its whole. It's going through the motions.
Hey, you
I'm
just
get- we're
join a
getting a
friend
lot of,
and
Like
the
wind or
static.
feedback or something.
Yeah.
Not sure. It might be the fact that I've got. We see that mic is closed. This mic is open. I can just kill the
I'm
sound
gonna
off.
mute that
Yeah.
one.
All right, so sound is off on the cab.
Is it letting you insert coin?
Nope.
No,
Maybe both of you need to reboot your cabinets or something.
I just rebooted mine. I could do it again.
Maybe he needs to reboot his cabinet.
Maybe he has a name.
It was
Rascal. Old man. Maybe old man Rascal.
No, you can't use that. Billy already has that for Old Man Ruckus.
I'm gonna check local play and just make sure local play works.
Old school.
Yeah, for all we know,
Old
Nick's
school,
pulled his
old
cabinet
school.
out and started probing stuff and ruined his OTG port. Yeah.
I mean,
Nope.
well, we know
Local
it's
works.
worked online because that other game that we tested right before the show worked.
Yeah.
Should
I
try
don't-
there's at least one more surprise.
Well, it redirects controls when you use multiplayer, doesn't it?
What works? What?
Doesn't it redirect the controls? It changes your controls when you're multiplayer.
Oh, maybe. Both people have to be in sync with each other. It synchronizes the state or whatever. So if it's not, if one person's side isn't reading the input, then the other person's side isn't going to like replicate the state.
All right. Well, I'm going to create another room for squash, and let's see if that happens. We did have it working last night, Papa Brad. We swear to God.
Yeah, I just unfortunately I'm sitting in my office, not in front of my iiRcade, or it would work when I joined. It's Nix's fault. I mean, that's obvious. Whatever Bobby Boo did to that cabinet, he gave it cancer. I hope he's still here.
Let's go for broke. Online play. You are player one.
So it was funny when Ettensoft and I were first testing this because I told them I didn't think it was going to work. We see each other in the game. We get to the next part, and you could hear both of us get extremely excited, like, oh, wow, it's working. And then it was laggy as all hell.
No, I can't insert a coin.
So Rascal, why don't we try? I'll create the server,
Okay.
and then you join me.
Sure, why not?
Oh, Ettensoft also said they're waiting in Magical Drop 3, but...
Well, maybe, I could try that. Maybe it'll work since it's not going to NIX.
It's his network, man. He's blocking the ports.
2.4 is still here.
Wait, did I have to open up ports for this?
No.
No. All right. No, we got...
Try Magical Drop. Try joining Ettensoft. Let's see what happens.
Where's Magical Drop in? Action,
Puzzles?
arcade.
Light gun.
Puzzles?
It's light gun.
I don't know what you're talking about, Sean. All right, so I have chosen.
So people that have played this online, I want to know how long that normally took.
That's about right.
Yeah, I was never able to connect to anyone online. It would just take me forever.
I didn't even look at what the buttons are, so I'm screwed. Now we're waiting for the pony.
All you gotta know is the coin button. That's it. Oh, I see
And there you
credit.
go.
I don't know what Nix did. Nix messed his cabin up.
Pretty NIX.
This is the problem. Okay, this is the problem, though. You can't rely on us to do testing or videos or tutorials because P-Dubs came over here and then complained about the state that my cabinet was in. And it's like, dude, this has been sitting on my desk for the better part of a year and a half outside of the cabinet. It was just a board.
For some reason, I don't think it's letting me join. I only saw player one join.
Hit P2 start.
I hit P2 start
You have
and
to
one
press
start.
player one start, I think. Are you in?
I'm not. No.
So you're not the player two right there?
Negative Ghost Rider.
I don't know. This stuff was really buggy. And
Yeah, it looks like player two is playing without me, and I'm not player one. That's for sure. That's always the case when you
you
try to
were
do
player
something
two.
live.
That's what's weird.
Yeah, it said you were supposed to be player 2.
Yeah, I hit.
Maybe
P2
he hit
start.
player two start and took over player two.
Yeah, it won't let me join.
Wait, are you pausing it?
I'm not. All right,
Oh,
other
you're
players
disconnected.
disconnected.
Oh, Papa Brad said he thinks you have to select multiplayer.
Oh, so we're blaming Ettensoft then. Okay. All right, we're going to go one more time here. When you start the game, they have different game modes. Thank you, Papa Brad. We'll try to pay attention to that. We were so excited it took
There might
long.
not have been enough coins inserted or something, and then you have to press player two start to get it to be a player two game or something like that.
The room just bounced out. With a
Yeah, but the loading sign's still there. Okay,
Well,
the
darn
loading
it,
sign's
heck.
not there anymore.
Let me go out, come back in.
Somebody's phone just did the Googling when I said okay.
I don't have one of those, so it's not mine. All right, Ed and Soft, I've gone ahead and started a room. Let's see what happens. Can you join? Then I will slowly go through and hope I can get a multiplayer game going.
Unfortunately, this is turning into a B stream where we do it live.
Yeah. Thanks for the curse.
This is what always happens to me, man. I'll be like, yeah, B, it totally works. It totally works. And then...
I knew we should have taken video last night.
Yeah, and it was working. It was laggy, but it was working. And I was excited for you to test it with NIX, because NIX geographically is closer to you. Maybe Papa Brad can answer.
Magical drop 3 while we're waiting on Ettensoft. Oh, he got a matchmaking failed.
Yeah, maybe Papa Brad can answer whether or not distance had any impact on lag in the past.
All right, I've created another room.
Papa Brad also said P2P used to work best.
All right, Rebel's telling me to exit all the way out and go back in. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I've gone all the way out. I've created a new room.
You keep doing
Ettensoft is
server.
rebooting their cabinet. NIX, reach over there and see if you can get Magical Drop 3.
I don't know, Papa Brad. It's even when Ettensoft and I were playing. At some points, it was almost unplayable. And their server was in Illinois, I believe. Nix, how did you install these? Did you use the ROM configurator? Okay. I'm just curious if the input is wrong or something.
Yeah, insert coin will not work whenever I'm connected.
I can't insert coin.
Hopefully you weren't on older firmware or something.
I'm on the latest.
Then I don't know what's going on there for you.
Buggers. All right.
Well,
Ettensoft is launching a game now. All right, go ahead and make a room, Ettensoft, and I'll try to join you again. This will be our last attempt at this.
yeah, unfortunately it was working fine last night. Don't know what's going on with Nix. We didn't have a chance to test before the stream went live because Rascal was busy backing up his arcade at the last minute.
Sorry that I had, good practices there, okay?
No, you should have clicked delete all games, okay?
My name is not B, all right? This is not jumping into the game. This is totally depressing me on multiple levels.
Why don't you try hosting and having Ettensoft join?
That's what he's trying to do.
Oh, was that? No, he was
No,
trying to
Ettensoft
join
hosted
in.
that one.
And do it as P2P. Brad said several times now that P2P used to work better.
Okay, I'm creating a P2P. Friends at Ettensoft, please join.
For a second there, I had to wonder how Bobby got the host file changed because I hadn't sent him that when I saw 2Die4 show up. I forgot Nix had his cabinet. So I think every one of us was like, wait a second, that's Bobby.
All right.
Join his game because it's not working while you're hosting.
Yeah, both sides have to do P2P. And Bobby is just cracking up over here. All right, 5 seconds, moment of truth, or not. Could be a bold-faced lie.
Yeah, I think something's going on when Ettensoft
And
hosts.
opponent exited the game.
There must be something going on with their side. Oh well, we can just skip this. That's fine. Point is, we're working on it. It's close. It works. We obviously have some troubleshooting to do.
All right, and by the way, guys, Sean's having internet problems, so that's why he fell off the face of the show. So, all right, well, it's a shame because Sean
I
really
wanted to see his reaction.
I know Sean wanted to see this. Let me go ahead and text him really fast, and let's see here. Let's change my cameras. No, no one wants to see me anyway. All right.
And the online thing is something where we're definitely going to be able to get more testing done because Papa Brad and Steps and a few others also have these boards, and the change is not hard. And we'll have to figure out what the hell's going on with Nix's cabinet because that's just... Bobby, what did you do to this thing, man?
So I used very old software to load the game on here, so
That shouldn't
I'm
have
not
had
sure,
any
yeah.
different impact on it or anything.
Now, almost everything on this cab was purchased prior to the shutdown. Well, I hate to do this, but one, I'm going to do this as a share screen. So let's see. Share that. And then I'm going to change the camera. Hello, which one is camera? I can't even tell anymore. Let's see. Settings, camera, jump to this one for now. All right, and switch that to go this away.
This part is the part that I think everybody's going to be a little bit more excited for. I had internet issues earlier today too. Somebody else said they had internet issues in here. I think it's the day of internet issues.
Yeah, Tanya, he was telling me that he had some issues right before the show. So, all right, well, without further ado, I'm sorry, my friend. I'm going to go over here to that category that you told me to go to. So last night we were talking about more light gun games, or more cowbell, but mostly more light gun games. And Mystery Encoder picked one out, and I think overall this thing took 4 hours to get working by hook or by crook, and ended up being a config file at the last minute there.
Yeah, I was up till 4 a.m. messing with it, and
all right, so without further ado, let's see if a add-on game can do light guns. All right, that's the first good step. We see the border. And I'm too impatient. I think we said we're going to fix this so we don't have to go through all the whole...
Yeah, make sure you calibrate properly.
Oh, I know. Gosh. Not my first rodeo with this game, trust me. I just put this light gun aside for a second, and... All right. It's weird. It's set up for A on player 1 and C on player 2.
What I miss? What's going on here?
All right.
What?
Take a peek.
What's he playing?
Okay. Whoa! Yo!
And for clarity, this is for science, correct?
Yep.
Okay. This is a proof of concept.
Love science, man.
Well, it's to the point where right now you have to insert coins and start using the control deck. It doesn't work on the gun or anything.
Okay, you guys can see that I've actually got.
I don't care. I don't care if it's just control deck. This is awesome.
Oh no! The coins are only the control deck, and the start button is only the control deck.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah, he's using the Syndic. Yo!
Yep, I'm not gonna have the
audio
because I don't want a takedown.
But it does work. The audio does work, for clarification.
You hearing that?
No.
Good. Sorry. But yeah, here we have a Sinden working on an add-on game.
Wow, dude.
On the iiRcade.
This is the only game I need for science purpose. This is it. That's all I care about.
And despite the fact that while it's streaming, it looks like it's lagging a little bit, but that's not the game. That has something to do with his capture card, because the game actually runs extremely smooth.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is I've got my camera going, and that if I get rid of my camera, let's see here, remove.
Oh,
that's himself.
No, he was trying to do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Okay.
Maybe not that.
So this actually brings opportunity to kind of talk about some stuff, though. People wonder if other light guns can work with the cabinet, and there's kind of two answers, which one of them is I'm not entirely sure yet. I believe it's possible.
Is that streaming a little bit better now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it's definitely possible for us to get other light guns working, other than Sinden. The thing about the Sinden is it emulates a joystick. It doesn't emulate a mouse on this. Other things emulate a mouse specifically, so it would require some testing. But one of the other things is people asked if ROMs were optimized for the system. No, we don't think so.
Yeah.
This is straight up just MAME. This isn't. We did not install MAME on there. This is the built-in MAME emulator that came on the cabinet that's
Wow.
running this. So this is the same emulator that you're playing Operation Wolf in.
This is awesome. Awesome.
So beyond that, this also answered some other questions for me personally, which was what they did to Space Harrier to make Glenn's deck work as far as his trackball and his spinner. And so for anything that's emulated on the cabinet, that's a ROM or even third-party ROMs that you bring, I think it should be entirely possible for us to get Glenn's spinner and trackball working on those other games.
Nice.
All right, so I heard that. Well, for anybody who's actually hung out this long, I guess maybe we should give away one of those giveaway thingies. Am I
Yeah,
still
you're
here?
good. I
Okay.
muted once. I muted the game. The static went away, so that's good.
Okay, well, I mean, we can just go ahead and take that off the screen at this point. It's just showing the screensaver now.
But yeah, so that was the big surprise that we spent several hours working on getting working. It was one thing at a time. It was, does it load? And then it would load, and we're like, oh, dude, it's working. And then you had no controls and no input. And then we eventually got the joysticks working, but then the gun's trigger wouldn't fire, and it was an iterative process.
Yeah, it
That
definitely
is
was.
awesome
Matter of
to
fact,
see,
I
though.
I
Oh,
bowed
my
out at
God.
4 a.m. my time, and it's just like, okay, you figure out the trigger, and we'll show it tomorrow. But yeah, that was
Beautiful.
pretty cool. I mean, it really was
Very cool. Extremely cool. That is
Yeah, and
awesome.
it's not limited to that, right? So the whole idea of that ROM configurator option in the software is you're bringing your own ROMs. We don't, Team Encoder specifically never provides ROMs with things that we do, but that doesn't mean that you don't want to bring T2 or RevX or whatever to your own cabinet. So yeah, if there's other light gun games like Duck Hunt or something that you want to play on your cabinet, that's up to you, not up to us.
Beautiful.
You know? But that should open up the entire library of that MAME version, whatever's really compatible with that version.
What's he doing there? He's trying magical drop again?
I guess so. I thought we already knew that him joining their game for whatever reason didn't work, but I think their internet sucks. Watch, it's gonna work right now after we gave up on it.
Here it goes.
find out the hard way.
I'm talking crap and it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I got a mic hot somewhere. Sorry about that. Be right back.
What? What did he say?
Now we're not gonna know if it works because he's walking away.
Yeah.
But now,
Oh. Huh?
More coins, more coins, more coins.
all right.
Did they press start?
I haven't, but it's doing the. Okay, so not versus CPU. We need.
See, I think they press start.
I think survival mode is what you would need.
I don't know. It didn't.
No, that's versus CPU. We can't do that. That won't
Oh,
work
gosh.
for me.
Okay, press start right here. Press start right here.
I'm pressing both start buttons. I just did a screenshot because I pressed them both at the same time. That's
Insert more coins. Press start. I don't know. Your start button's not working.
Insert coins, not adding anything at this point. It's a one-player game, I think.
Because I got to this and
I gotta stop doing that.
I got to this screen with them and I was able to join. So I don't know what the hell.
Well,
I don't know, man. There's internet problems between the people that are testing for some reason. If you really wanted to test this, I could technically go up to my loft and jump on. We know it works between us.
I mean, that is up to you. I've got to give away at least one Steam code really quick. So you got a few minutes if you want to do that. It's up to you.
No,
Yeah, I
why
know.
not? Let me
It's actually work, but
grab my laptop and go turn my cabinet on. Why not? We can show people it works. Just so
Well,
they
that
know
was
that I'm not
beautiful.
lying. You know, Shoeshine just called me a liar.
what?
Even if Revolution X
Called
had
me
no
a
sound,
shyster
nothing,
and
as
a
long as
scam
my
artist.
iArcade plays it, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so for clarification, we haven't tested anything else. This was the Revolution X thing was a last minute thing where it was like Rascal and I were talking after testing online play, and I was like, we could add more light gun games, and he goes, "Huh?" So it became this
Nice.
thing where I'm just like one of those last minute decisions to just try it. And I don't. Maybe Nix knows better than I do about this hardware and whether or not it would be able to run like something like Area 51 or so on.
Ooh, man. That'd
Have
be
you
sick.
ever had luck with CHDs on a Arcade 3399?
CHDs, yeah. Area 51 is one of the more demanding games. I don't remember trying it on the 3399. Let me see if someone knows.
But so as far as like House of the Dead, somebody mentioned House of the Dead, and I could see like House of the Dead 2 on a Dreamcast emulator working, but that's just because Dreamcast emulation doesn't really require a lot of power,
Gotcha.
and I'd expect that to work pretty well here. But let me go jump on my laptop real quick and rejoin here.
All right, while we're doing that, we are going to go do our giveaway thing. So we are going to go ahead and be giving away a Steam code for Doom 2. This was an anonymous donation to the channel. So go ahead and start typing in chat hashtag Doom,
Ooh.
DOOM.
Do I?
That's actually for Doom 2 on Steam. And I'm going to go ahead and run that until we at least hear our boy ME come back on the air. So hashtag Doom, there we go. And yes, Ettensoft, it is Doom 2. I believe I already
A lot
own
of
it. So
Dooms coming in. A lot of Dooms coming in.
yeah, we
People
got
want the
13 entries
game.
so far. 13's my lucky number. And Sean, I don't think I'm going to fall asleep in the middle of the stream like we anticipated.
Good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm a wee bit older than most of the folks on this show. Probably old, as all of your ages combined. So that staying up till 4 in the morning thing really it messed with me this morning. I'm
Oh,
not going to
yeah.
lie. I got about 5 or 6 hours of sleep, and then was all downhill from there.
Tanya got Doom. Look at all these Dooms coming in, man. We got 21 so far. More coming in. Doom, Doom, Doom.
We got a doomed hash brown.
Great game. That's the winner.
Hashtag hash brown. Triumph or Die in here. Let's see. And by the way, some new folks. Tech Zombie. Hey, buddy. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Let's see. Dan Mowry. I got Sherry Nendick. Of course, our boys from Ettensoft. Chaotic BPR. Gumby 4877. Steve B joined us. Our regular Shane the Fortean. Hope I said that right. I was at 14. I swear we've done this before, and it's 14. Matt Astra. Let's see. I think that's all the ones I missed. Ralph Reed in the house. Thank you for joining us and for being a member. Appreciate that. And that is who I see new in the chat for now. And John Campbell. There we go. All right, we are at 26 right now for Doom. I have no idea how close Emmy is to getting there. And this may be even less fun because Nix, as you know, the room he's got that other cabinet in is basically shielded from the world, not physically, but kind of. All right, we got Emmy there, so let me remove Emmy here. And are we there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm going to go ahead and
I
mute
made a
myself
lobby
here.
in Squash.
I'm going to walk over there and see what we got going on. Anybody who wants to go ahead and join. All right, so Sean, looks like you did put me up there. Look at you. You got to turn the other camera off, though. I'll get it. Don't worry about it. I got it. All right.
It's Nix's fault. He cursed it.
I'm not going to put my camera on here so we get the best streaming quality. All right, here we go. Mystery Encoder, USA.
Taking too long.
Nope, it's looking good so far. You doing the countdown? I got the splash screen. All right, I am player 2.
Are you press start?
I haven't yet. I'm just seeing if we get some coins.
Oh, we think I'm already in the game.
I'm in the game, but I'm not seeing the ability
No,
to.
we're desynced. It desynced for some reason.
Did you choose server or P2P?
I don't remember.
Okay. I'm
But
going
it
to post.
desynced because you were in the game before I even selected a player.
All right. One last try. I'm going to host P2P, so just go ahead and exit out and try to join.
You know what? I'm wondering if us screwing with the MAME config messed this up a little bit.
Well, I mean, all we did
Tony,
was
you made a good purchase.
all we did on mine was change the one config file for the one game.
You went in too fast just now because I wasn't even in the lobby yet.
Oh man.
It was weird. But
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know. They said this was alpha on the screen, like when you tried to launch it. So I don't know how far along they were with actually doing this stuff.
Yeah, that totally lost us. And all right, one last try. I'm going to create a P2P, and I'll be
Disappointing because we did this like 20 times last night.
I know. We tried multiple games.
The MAME config. So I'm wondering if the MAME config is different for us, and so it's messing it up.
Well, you modified stuff on yours.
Enjoy it, MG. Enjoy. Good. I'm glad you got it.
All right, are you seeing the splash screen?
Yeah, I just
Yes.
hit that. Okay.
All right. It says I am player 1. It says go. We have 10 credits.
Yeah, I see that. Are you gonna press start or I press start?
I did. I pressed player 1 start.
Ooh,
I
What's
pressed
happening?
start.
is it working?
Yep.
I guess I'm player 2.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh. For some reason, it's making me play on player 2.
It's making me play on player 2.
Jank.
It was like you were controlling my thing.
All right, you're serving.
No, you're serving.
No, I'm not.
No, dude, I'm the yellow guy.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I was moving.
Move left and right.
Clip this. This is
Just
great.
look, I hit the ball on my side, so I don't know. It's the ball, dude. It's so desynced. The ball's bouncing in my hand. I'm done. There's something weird going on. It's just desynced as all hell.
All right, well, then we're going to do server this time instead of P2P.
It could be that we messed up our main configurations. I don't know.
Join one more time.
Which
I
could
do
also
not
be
need
why
some
Nick
sleep,
isn't
MG.
able to join you. Maybe if Nix and Attensoft played together, it would work, but not us because our main configs are messed up.
How can mine be messed up? You didn't mess with my main
Because we
config.
were messing with all of it when we were doing RevX stuff. I'm not in yet. It's
Son
like,
of a motherless goat.
yeah.
Ah. Yep.
It was
All right,
loading.
we're done.
MG says you just need sleep, rascal. That's all.
I need lots of sleep. All right.
I mean, we seen a little bit. That was cool. That was good.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
the
it
yellow
worked.
guy moving twice for once.
Because my cabinet is in a weird state, and because Rascals is at this point, we don't know if there could be a difference in MAME stuff. Because I don't know, dude. When you do online play, MAME is picky. You have to have the exact same ROM. You have to have like the exact same config.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, but again, the only thing you did on my machine was the sequel stuff for the flags for the
and
the
the
Red
drop
X,
free.
yeah. But my MAME, I can press tab now to open the configuration menu and stuff on here.
And Soft is joining.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it. We're just testing it.
They're joining NIX to see if it's working between them.
which we won't
If it
see.
is something to do between our stuff being messed with, they should be able to connect to each other.
Well, we'll let them tell us how that goes, but meanwhile, staring at my screen
No.
is kind of boring.
Yeah, buddy, get that
Same thing.
Doom giveaway.
No, he's just got to show off RevX some more and play audio so his stream gets taken down.
That works. That works too.
Yeah. So one thing that we discussed that maybe you could have shown.
Yeah, no,
while you
I
were still at
think
your
we did
cabin.
some Metallica the other night, and that definitely had a quick copyright hit on us.
One thing you could have shown while you were still at your cabin, by the way, was alligator hunt.
Oh,
And so
yes,
it's
good
just
point.
fucking
Going back, bye.
Wait, what?
He
What?
doesn't come prepared.
Oh my god! Mute this one. Add him here.
Well, that was the other part of our experimentation last night, was seeing if we could take a game that was not multiplayer and make it multiplayer. So that
So
falls.
as you guys know, not every game was enabled for multiplayer, regardless of whether or not it was two-player in an emulator.
So we actually took Alligator Hunt, and Mystery Encoder did some work to make it flagged for online play. That's one of those things that's going to be.
He says it's working.
Damn, we broke it.
Oh, so
Oh
it's
no,
working.
I said walk ring. I didn't say working.
Oh.
No, it's working. It's working.
Point your
Yeah,
camera
we're
at
playing.
the cabin.
So we went ahead and converted a game that was not online before into an online game. Emmy, you still at the cab?
Stephen
Yeah.
Tyler entered the chat.
We can try one more time here. I'm going to go server by default. See if you can join me in a little bit of Alligator Hunt,
Let me see.
which will lag the high heck.
It did when we tried to play, yeah. See, I'm loading.
I'm waiting for a opponent. All right, there we
I
go.
got
I didn't know.
The room disappeared and I still have a loading screen, so
Not cool.
just wait till before you hit that, I think. Nope, I got disconnected.
Yeah, it says you exited. Oh, our good old matchmaker failed. I remember that. Fine, I'm creating a point-to-point now. Try joining the P2P, or my new P2P, and we'll see what happens, and then we'll find drink liquor.
Yeah, so it's working between NIX and Ettensoft apparently.
Yeah, and I haven't modified
No,
anything. The only thing I did was enable online play and
All right,
Squash.
tell me when you got the
and
splash
the other one.
screen.
yeah, I got it. I just clicked A.
So did I.
Now it's waiting for you.
It says game ready. I am 1P.
So yeah, the long story short behind this is that basically games that are two-player theoretically can be placed online, and the reason why I decided to mention this is because that being the case, it's theoretically possible that you could put RevX online and play together, for instance.
Ooh, man, that'd be awesome.
I'm inserting.
Credits in there.
I inserted coins. I'm pushing player 2 start, but it's not working.
Yeah,
Push player
one start. It's also not working. I think player 2 start worked for me.
Oh, okay, cool.
We'll find out which joystick it is. But you can tell right now this one's lagging like high heck.
I think it lagging is a good thing though. That means we're actually like playing together. I'm the green guy, I think.
No, you're not. I am.
No.
Making us move the thing one. 'Cause I'm moving it on my screen.
I just,
Moving the red one on your screen.
yeah, you moved the red one on my screen. That's weird. Well, I guess maybe we're seeing it differently. I don't know. So again, this was
Wait, here's the red one.
arcade game that was not multiplayer, but you made it
I'm
multiplayer.
controlling the red guy on your screen. That's
Yes, you
interesting.
are.
But it's
So
aiming at
I'm-
the same place where I'm aiming at, so. But yeah, you can tell it's working. We're controlling each other's games. I can insert more coins.
Oh,
You can exit.
Yeah. I
oh,
killed
nice.
But yeah, I mean it's working, so that is what it is.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, where is he?
Was it actually working between you and Ed and Soft? Like you guys were playing properly and all that?
Yep. Yeah, it was working fine.
Great. Now you got to fix my cab. Not
But you
tonight.
didn't back up, did you?
I need my sleep tonight. Alrighty. So yeah, that was the one thing I forgot was the fact that we did turn a regular 2-player local game into a
Badass.
2-player online game.
Awesome.
Now, that game, as you noticed, had a lot of activity going on. It may have been, that may have been an original decision as to why iiRcade chose not to enable it online at first. They may have seen the lag and said, you know what, this is not going to be a good experience. People aren't going to love it. But we do have the flexibility to try. And not just for games that we purchased. This could be for the future of like games that we purchased new from some of these developers. There's all sorts of stores like itch.io that people sell games and software all the time. I know I've got consoles that people sell games on there.
I would hold off on that necessarily because this is in MAME, right? That multiplayer works through MAME. It's not a global iiRcade thing. So if somebody sells a game, that doesn't necessarily mean that the multiplayer thing will work like that.
True. But if they make a multiplayer game, then
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But so if somebody decides to release licensed ROMs, I know there's some guys that said they had licenses to like the Coleco ROMs and stuff like that. Who knows? But yeah, the online multiplayer is pretty interesting the way it works. In my case, I still don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or if it's just laggy in general. But it's cool, and we'll probably continue working towards trying to improve it.
Definitely. All right. Well, we have a giveaway to do here. So many people, 29 of you have put in hashtag Doom. We're going to hit the draw
Good
button
luck,
and see
everybody.
who is going to win that
gonna
code
be me.
tonight.
I'm gonna hit button 134, and it's gonna be me.
Did you actually enter?
Yeah.
All right. We got Ralph Reed as the winner of Doom 2.
Congrats, Ralph.
And how
What's up,
is
what's
Ralph
up?
going to get that magical game code? He is going to go ahead and, let's see here, gaming show, shoot me an email to rascal@me.com. So, Ralph, just go ahead and shoot me an email sometime tonight or tomorrow, rascal@me.com. Tell me that, hey, I'm Ralph, and darn it, you owe me a code for Doom 2, and I'll get you taken care of. Unless you're on Discord, especially hang out in MCAP's Discord, you can DM me, and I'll shoot you a code that way. But the easiest one is, as you see down there, rascal@me.com. So, get that
Oh
off of here.
crap! So wait, I could play the original Toe Jam and Earl.
The what?
Original Toe Jam and Earl, not the one that was on the iiRcade.
Maybe.
Ooh,
one on the
science,
Sega?
science, man, science.
Get that off the screen there. All right. Why does it say I'm...
If you legally own that ROM and would like to add it to your cabinet,
Oh, I have enough of that damn
You are-
game. It's all
you
over
are
my
free
house.
to do
man.
so.
I have that game way too many times.
And that is what we were showing earlier in the software, where you could go ahead and package up a MAME ROM to push it to the iiRcade. Good
Yeah.
night, Tanya. Thanks for hanging out with
Hi,
us.
Tonya.
All right, let's get rid of that. So we do have, let's see here, at least 2 more codes to be giving away. We did spend a heck of a lot of time on that.
So how do I
But,
get Doom 2 on the cabinet?
Huh?
How do I get Doom 2 on the cabinet? You're giving it away. How do I get it there?
Right now, I don't know, man.
You're like, I'm waiting for
That'd
you
be
to
nice,
answer that
man.
question.
This
Doom
code is
2,
strictly for Steam. If you can figure out how to get it off
Multiplayer
Steam
Doom
onto
2
there.
on iiRcade, yes. Doom multiplayer iiRcade. Let's do it.
All right, so I've got 2 more big codes that I promised to give away tonight, so let's give away at least one of them. and that is going to be for Indiana Jones pinball table on FX3. So that is going to be, let's see here, share that tab, add to stream. Give me a hashtag IndieFX3, guys. Anybody wants that for Pinball FX3? Doesn't have it yet? Hashtag IndieFX3, and we'll be giving that code away here in just a couple of minutes. And then I've got another one for FX itself. So if you
Unreal
made the move to
Tournament Online.
FX, I'll be giving that away next. All right, so what else did we miss on this, guys? We talked about all the stuff the hardware does. Nix, did we miss anything about the hardware itself?
A lot
Okay.
of indies coming through. Indie, a lot of people
Now,
want it.
and we were looking at the store earlier tonight to see. I saw, and this is kind of an older product you had, older being like more than 6 months old, was for the bit LCD. It did a kind of a little splitting thing, not just for the USBs, but also for the power, correct? Kind of got rid of that problem where the power, you had to use that little splitter thing they gave you for the bit LCD.
So for bit LCD, there is a problem with the board in bit LCD where it puts out 5 volts.
Yeah, it actually sends it backwards.
So they didn't put a diode on there, so it's sending it back, so it's sending it out to the ALU. So people who had like RGB buttons or even the GRS gate switchers, their lights would stay on because the bit LCD always has power, and that's the way it works. The bit LCD just stays on, and when it detects a USB connection, the display turns on.
Yep. So that's an add-on board you got there, and you've got some boards for other products, not just ACgames and iiRcade, correct? You have some arcade one-up stuff, or no?
I don't have any arcade one-up stuff, so
Okay.
I like to make things for products that I have. So I have mostly ACgames stuff. So the only arcade one-up stuff I have is some little countercades, and now I have the iiRcade. But I can show you stuff that I'm currently working on. So you guys are all familiar with this thing. So this, for anyone who doesn't know, this is the CTR board that is inside of your control panel. And these things break all the time. Buy stuff, sells replacements, ACgames sells replacements, then they're constantly out of stock. So I am working on a replacement that has a microcontroller inside that is going to be running a custom firmware called GP2040CE. And this is a firmware that is open source. It's used on the Raspberry Pi Pico. So I actually have an RP2040 microcontroller on here. And this firmware has sub-millisecond input lag. So it's perfect for fight games. It also has a built-in RGB controller, so you'll be able to hook up RGB lighting. If you have the like the gold leaf RGB, I have an adapter that you can plug your gold leaf RGB connectors into, and then it connects into this board, and you can individually address and change the colors and do whatever you want, and even control like light strips if you want like that kind of control. And so one of the things I want to do is create software that when you launch a game, it'll light up the buttons for that particular game and only those buttons. And if it's a trackball game, like for Golden Tee, it can light up the trackball. I want to make I don't know if anyone's seen on Reddit, someone posted they made a trackball light mod. So I can make a LED light ring that connects underneath the existing trackball and shines a light through it, and then you can control the colors. So if you play Golden Tee, the trackball can light up green or whatever.
Nice. That's really cool.
And I see you got some other things here, like the ALP replacement back cover.
Yep.
Let me see if I can pop that on the screen here. Do that. There we go. So this basically has a cutout in the back cover. I think it's like, is it 1 or 2 cutouts? It's got 2. You got one for the VIBs button, don't you?
Yeah, for the VIBs button. So the thing about me is I don't like cutting cables. I don't like drilling holes in my stuff. So I kind of make these things so that I can plug it in. And if I ever wanted to sell it, not that I ever plan on, but I can always revert this thing back to stock and sell it if I want to. So I wanted a replacement for to be able to put the VIBs in and rattle my cables for OTG. So I threw this together, and it was another thing. Someone said, "Hey, why don't you sell this on Etsy?" So I started doing that.
Cool. Yeah. So you got the little bristles. I forget what you call that, but to get the cables in and out there, and you have something similar, I think, for the ALU, correct?
Yep.
Where you
Yeah,
go
I have a
ahead
replacement.
and that little back piece right there, you can replace it with this if it'll open it up. There we go. And so you've got multiple
Ooh.
USBs, your Ethernet, and is that even a micro SD for a Pi
Nice.
board?
It is, yeah. So one of the other things I sell is a conversion board for the ALU. So if you look at this one right here, that's actually running an Orange Pi 5, which is the RK3588 chip.
Okay.
And I've got Batacera running in there. And I have this board, which is a new version of what I call LPCB. So that you plug this in, and you can hook up another SBC and replace it. So I designed this thing. If you're replacing your SBC and you don't want to swap your SD card out, and you want to plug in light guns, and you want to plug in USB sticks, I didn't want to be taking the cover back and forth. So I created that back plate. That back plate actually uses little keystone jacks.
Yep.
So
Familiar with those.
there's 4 keystone jacks, and you can customize it how you want. You can I offer Ethernet and USB. If you only want one USB, no Ethernet, I'll ship it with 3 blanks. So it'll has 3 blank dust covers. So you can put HDMI in there. You could put speaker connectors in there. You can put all sorts of stuff. Anything that there's a available keystone jack for, it'll fit right in there.
Nice.
And now these multiple USBs, you do have that other board I was showing there, the LPBA. Let's see which one. There's the 4-port version. So one of these ports, let's see, is going to go to the bit LCD, correct, or bit pixel?
This is for BitPixel. Yeah,
Pixel,
the other one I made these little dongles, and I was going to sell them for a couple bucks, but then because I couldn't find anything to block the power on the thing, so I just made one. And then someone posted a link on Amazon. There was something for like $6. I'm like, I'm not going to make any money off this, so I started selling them for $2. I bought a couple hundred of them, and I just let them go for like what I paid. I was like, here you go, $2. So I got rid of those, and I don't sell those anymore because you can just get them on Amazon. But this board, this solves the problem of when you turn your ALU off, BitPixel stays on.
Yeah.
And for it doesn't happen to everybody.
I noticed, yeah.
If your firmware is broken, so there's a file on the firmware, it's artdata.bin. If that file is corrupt, which happens on Pixelcade, then your screen stays blank. So people are like, oh, mine turns off. No, it doesn't actually turn off. It's still using power. It's still on. It's just it's not being able to display the artwork in the firmware. So this board solves the problem. So the ALU, when you turn on and off with the power button, it will cut power to the BitPixel.
Cool. All right, and I guess these multiple USBs can also go to those ports that we had in that back panel?
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
Nice.
So it's got a built-in USB hub. The hub I use has 4 ports. I originally just only used 2, one for the controller, one for BitPixel. And then someone bought it, and they were like, hey, I have these GRS spinners, and I would like to use them and plug them in and get power. He's like, do you think I can make a version that has more ports? I was like, I've got 2 additional ports. So I redesigned it with 2 more ports, and I just sell it with 4 ports now.
Nice.
There is a 3-port version. I made a mistake on my first
I remember
batch
that.
of the
Let
board.
me go ahead and find that. So save $10 for a version that looks like it has 4 ports, but only 3 are operational.
Yes. So I miswired that 4th port. I swapped the traces so it doesn't work.
I hope you have stickers on those to know which one is which.
I
But
have
give everybody an
the
idea.
board's a different color. Yeah.
Here is a fully wired one. This is in an ALU. So you got the power coming in, then you've got the power being split to the CTR and the bit pixel. Now I even see a 2-pin up there. Is that actually going to the for the marquee light or whatever?
Yeah, so that connects to the marquee light. I use the marquee light to detect whether the ALU is on or off.
Perfect. Okay.
I was using the control bus port, but I figured it was probably a better idea not to mess with that and just use the LED.
It looks like a flux capacitor.
Yes.
Totally does. But you had, it looks like the ALU 1.1 kit, and then this ALP kit is that for like the BitPixel HV.
It is, yeah. And
It can also be used on your other BitPixel I see right here, PixelCade.
it comes with, yeah. So
This one comes with
Arcade
it?
Mini, it comes with it. I include it. AtGames doesn't sell the BitPixel anymore, but PixelCade does sell the PixelCade HV or the PixelCade for the ALP. They actually have a really cool PixelCade that goes where the control panel goes, and you could use it as a DMD if you're using OTG mode.
Oh yeah, he's got so many. He's got a PixelCade for any occasion. Different sizes. You could literally put like 5 on a machine, but of course that would have to be mostly for PC type stuff. But yeah, I've seen it where he's got it as a DMD, and then he's got another one rocking high score scrolling and all sorts of stuff.
That's
Al does some
sick.
great things. Oh. And this actually brings up something we were talking about last night. And before we do that, I'm going to give away this indie game. So here we go. Indie FX3 is going to... Bump-a-da-da, drum roll, please. Brian
Anderson. Woo!
Brian, I am not sure if you've won anything with us before. I don't think so. So go ahead and shoot me an email. Again, that is rascal@me.com. I'll check that tonight or tomorrow and get you your code for the FX3 version of Indiana Jones.
So how do I get this on my arcade one-up pinball?
Yeah, there you go.
I'll have to
I
talk
want to know
to
too.
I'll have to talk to a guy I know and see if he can help out with that.
You'll have to let me know what he says.
You'll be the first to know, as a matter of fact.
Oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. What about
All
my
right.
Toy Shack? Can I get it on my Toy Shack?
I think the Toy Shop can do almost anything, can't it?
Yeah, it could. That
I
could
think
run
so.
everything.
I think it runs 1080p Williams tables better than an arcade one-up does, but I don't know anything about that.
Oh, what the heck just happened here? I literally get...
Yeah.
you know what it is? We can't use that one because that's a subset of the Indie FX3. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just say FX. Hashtag FX will be for the FX version of Indiana Jones. So while we're talking here for the rest of the show, throw up hashtag FX in the chat to be entered in for that drawing. Let's see, pull that off
Will
of our screen.
Leaderboards be making a comeback?
Yeah, I think Rascal said he was doing the programming for that.
I did. I was really punch drunk at the time, so I said a lot of things. But I think when I said that, I also said you were going to go ahead and work on integration with the GRS switchers, didn't I?
I don't know about that. I think that's.
I think
Nix is the
that-
one working on the integration with the GRS switchers.
That would get me away from Diablo, dude. Ensoft says he'll play Doom 2 on the iArcade. If there's like a multiplayer, Doom 2, yeah. That might get me away from Diablo.
So if there's
that'd be
already
pretty
an
awesome.
SDK that exists, you could probably get it installed, but you can't exactly go and grab like the WAD file or whatever and try to run that. You'd have to have like GZ Doom or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But no, Nix has worked previously on AtGames to do the gate switchers. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nix. So technically, we already have the code for that. We just have to bring it to the iArcade, and the gate switchers will work on the iArcade and automatically switch. And
So
as
hold
you
on,
would-
let me get this. I could use that cool little IR enabler to not only power my GRS switchers, but because that connection is made, we might be able to let's say, launch a game that requires four-way and have it automatically send the command.
Yep. Since
You're saving
plugging
me
into
from
that.
reaching over like 12 inches over there and pressing a button.
Yep.
Yeah,
Damn.
badass.
Whew. I'm going to have so much more energy to play these games. I
honestly-
might actually put up a high score on Burger Time.
The
You know,
cool
it-
thing about
it-
that is Glenn's deck comes with those gate switchers, right?
Yeah, it does.
And so
Yeah.
because he's connecting everything through his hub, and then if they already have our board, technically we have access to all of his accessories that way if our board's there. From the software side, so spinners, gate switchers, all of it. If we want to try to make those things work with his deck, it's all plugging into the one USB port, so I don't see why we wouldn't be able to access it.
Well, that'd be a cool thing to have in the future. I mean, it's not a must-have,
Oh, yeah.
but it is definitely a cool feature, especially if you don't even know what kind of joystick a game needs. There may be people out there that are, play Burger Time and wonder why the hell they can't get up that ladder.
And that's that's the key.
I'm
Like,
that
for
person.
me, it's
just FYI.
yeah, and it's not even that like I'm too lazy to hit the button. It's that I just forget, right? I'm just playing a game and I don't even have to think about it on because I wrote the
Exactly.
software. It
And-
just automatically switches.
And there's two colors too. It's I mean, is red 8-way or is blue 8-way? I mean, it's 4 a.m. Anything could happen. So,
Or maybe your kids are playing, right? Your kids don't understand the difference.
and then that's also great because again, if you have
Or
guests that
grandkids.
come over and play the games, to have it automatically switch to be optimized, definitely a cool thing. So, all right, we're gonna give away the last code of the night
Do it.
and get that
Do it up.
off the books. We got 16 entries for Indy for FX. And let's see who the magic wiener is tonight. Shoeshine.
Shoeshine.
All right, Shoeshine. I am 99.9% sure you are in the Discord. Back me up on that one, Sean. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
All right, so we will get that code to you by DM sometime tonight. So that's all of our giveaways. We've shown as much as we can. We talked about some future things. Now, there are some other functionality. Again, someone mentioned leaderboards. Is this something you're looking at, Emmy?
Yeah, I technically already have them sort of working, but you're gonna need obviously our board, flash your board, and then the push TE server button thingy. But yeah, ultimately they should work. They're gonna make sure that I'm on the top of all of them at all times, though. If everybody's okay with that while using them, just I don't have time to compete, so I just gotta place myself there.
That's your way of knowing that it's working.
Yeah.
No. Realistically, though, without joking, yeah, it's pretty simple as far as how that used to work. There is a little bit I have to figure out in relation to how the ROMs themselves were reporting things. I also believe that because of the way that they were reading high scores, I'm not going to confirm this 100%, it may be possible to actually bring leaderboards to new games that are added to the cabinet as well. So, like, if Sean over here decided he wanted to add RevX and
Yes,
wanted
please.
RevX to have a leaderboard,
Yep.
maybe it will. Depending on
So
if
that
high
would just
scores-
be reading
Okay,
the
yeah.
high
Oh,
score
yeah,
DAT from inside the main file.
Yeah, I believe that their code already does that, and if it doesn't, we'll make it do it.
Cool. So we talked about a future of that. We talked about a future of maybe the integration with the gate switchers. Let's see, what else did the iiRcade used to do via the online service? Oh yeah, screenshots. What are your thoughts on that?
So
As many people saw, I was slamming my P1, P2 button because I've got
Yeah,
those-
and I seen it
this-
happen. I'm like,
the-
oh, John got an image. Like, what? John still gets images from people?
I have a bad feeling that these things
that's-
are caching themselves inside one of my partitions. And
not to completely detour this, but that's actually concerning that they could see everything. Like if you screenshotted something, they saw you did that. They got device logs from your cabinet. So
See?
like the only reason why they patched some stuff that existed prior to this board, even because we had root on this board for over a year, and in the last firmware update they patched it. And the only reason they were able to do that is because they were getting complete device logs from your device. It would ship it out every like maybe 5 to 10 minutes where it would show like everything the app was doing and like every app you launched and all this stuff. So they're like collecting all these analytics that I don't know we ever agreed to them collecting. But anyway, who knows what you agree to anymore, right? You just
Okay,
collect the
have you
analytics.
watched this
But
season of Black Mirror on Netflix yet?
I watched the one where the one about Netflix, basically.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Joan is awful.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
dude. That we are getting so close to that being a reality. It's crazy.
Well, you just talked about, I mean, they got all this information from the logs and this and that, and
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
know if we agreed to it. Yeah, it's on page 38, paragraph 9.
That's
Okay.
that's some internal talk that I've heard about Arcade One Up in the past is them wanting to add microphones to the cabinet itself, and a lot of people going, "No, bad idea, bad idea." So just imagine your iArcade had one, and not only are they getting your screenshots and device logs, but they're listening to everything you say. So
Yeah.
Dong knows who to ban when they talk about modding it. But before I sidetracked that, I forget exactly. You were asking about the screenshots and whether or not we could get them. And if they're stored on the cabinet, theoretically, we should be able to make the software able to extract them, so screenshotting would still be possible. And some other things, I've seen some talk on the Facebook group while we're giving updates on stuff about, how easy might it be to add the Steam Link app or Moonlight, if anybody's familiar with those things.
Yep.
Apps to stream your PC over Wi-Fi to an Android device. And as long as these things don't require Google Play services, it's theoretically easy. You use the ROM configurator, you deploy the app, it installs. With the input configuration, you're passing in the inputs and you can modify them however you see fit. I don't know. So that's the exception to what we were talking about last night, where I said I didn't think redeploying something would work to update the configuration.
Mhm.
I don't know if that will work with an app. We know it works with ROMs, but an app is a different story because it has to install. And Android won't just install an app over an app. It'll complain and tell you it's already installed.
Okay, so if you can do something with the screenshots, you're going to have it part of the app. So we just go ahead and pull them off, and we're not going to look at the email scenario, right? That sounds a little more
Yeah, I don't.
difficult.
It's too involved to try to email
Yeah.
stuff to people. It doesn't make sense. There's no point in setting up a whole email server and being like, "Oh, we're gonna email stuff." Um, the other thing that would be interesting is I know you and I, God, where was I going? Oh, you and I discussed the login bug thing where it constantly prompts this
Oh yeah,
stupid
you guys
annoying
saw that on my
login.
screen as we were playing earlier today. It just popped up and goes ahead, and Nick's thought it was only his.
Yeah.
Comes up and asks for your password.
And so I do have a version of the login server that's emulated that you run on your computer. So when you click that push TE server button, you can run the emulator. Any login at that point will technically work, and you'll be able to change your nickname or device name, whatever you want to do from the app. And on top of that, it'll make that token. Essentially, when you used to log in, you got a token on your cabinet. The token expired. It was about 6 days before it expired. So it's been about 6 days since servers have been offline, and that's why everybody's getting the login prompt. Or since the last time one of these cabinets is logged in, let's say. And so what'll happen is it'll give you a new token, and it'll set it to like 9,999 days, and you'll never get that pop up for the next 9,999 days.
I mean, knock on wood, I'll be around that long, but doing the math in my
Yeah.
head, that's a lot of days.
Yeah, I know you're pretty old.
Wow. Damn it. Stayed up till 4 in the morning, though, didn't I, damn it?
Hey, gotta give you some shit. I wouldn't be me if I didn't.
Oh, yeah. But speaking of some shit, man, I think I got about 5 hours of sleep, maybe 5 to 6, if I was lucky after that. And I told you yesterday, I actually woke up early. I usually crawl out of bed between 10 and 11. Yesterday, I crawled out of bed early and then stayed up till 4 a.m. So, yeah, I feel like I got
Nice.
the crap beat out of me. Or that I've been out drinking with Sean all day.
Hey, yeah,
That's
buddy.
how I feel. All right. Well, you guys, Nixon and Mystery Encoder, did I miss anything? And did I leave a stone unturned here? Or
I don't believe so.
I
I
think
think
we've
that-
answered everybody's questions in the chat. So there was one I thought we may have missed. A Little Alien had one. What was it? Find it for me, Sean. Yep, I'm looking too. He had a question that actually made sense to ask, and there's going to be
What's
so
this?
many things in here.
Screensavers?
Yes, thank you very
The
much. Would
fireplace.
there be a possibility to overwrite the screensaver MP4?
So yes, that's actually an interesting topic in general, because we've had success in modifying the UI itself as well. So in some of our internal stuff we've done, we've changed colors on things, we've changed logos, we've changed boot animation, shutdown animation, screensavers. That's kind of some of the initial stuff we did. Um, as far as what this software does and the goal of it, we're trying to make a lot of that stuff more accessible to the common person or the average user. Like anybody could go and start installing stuff on this with what we've done, because it's just enabling the Android debug bridge. You have full access to your cabinet, but the problem is then you're opening a command prompt and you're copying and pasting stuff. I'm sending you, Rascal, in order to get RevX working at 4 a.m, and nobody wants to sit there and go in a command prompt. So um, making this shorter than me ranting, I would like a button that's like maybe a manage cabinet button where you have like a change my boot animation, change my screensaver, that kind of thing. So and then you just give it a new MP4 or whatever and
Do
go on
people
your
want
way.
the whoosh gone, or do you want a fireplace? Which one do you want the most?
I would
See,
have
like
whooshy
that,
fireplace.
like those are the two things. It's like kill the whoosh,
I
or
do
want
want
a
to clarify
fireplace.
that it will not be immediately possible to do things like RevX. That's down the road because we still have to work out MAME configurations and stuff. And I mean, Rascal and I already were frustrated as hell with it last night.
God,
So
yes.
it will be possible to load what you choose, your ROMs, whatever. I plan on releasing the first version of this software hopefully tonight. I was kind of waiting around for this stream to do it, and some other people to test, but yeah. So I do plan on doing that tonight. I needed to make sure that Rascal's backup worked, so I had to wait, the 6 hours for him to do that. 6+ hours.
6 hours, 34
Doom
minutes.
did not work.
So yes, I've
He's gonna
seen
work
some
on it.
questions about that in the chats. People saying, "Oh, gee, USB 3 can do 480 megabits per second for data. This should only take." Let me see. Whip out my little TI calculator. Why is this taking more than 20 minutes to back up my machine? All I know is if you were to go ahead and try to download a 128 gig image
Yeah.
from the internet, that's still slow as heck. I've got a gig down here, but there's other things involved that make downloads or transfers slow, and so whatever is going on, in that that backup, it's taking longer than 480 megabits per second. But so just be prepared when you do that backup. You're looking at 3+ hours on a 64 gig board, or 6+ hours on a 128 gig. And as we stated, if you're using a laptop, have all of your sleep stuff turned off in power management just to make sure it doesn't interfere with it.
The other good thing to mention about this and the fact that the board's being opened up is I, I, I don't want to talk poorly upon iiRcade or anybody that was there previously, but they made life very difficult for developers that were trying to make things for this platform. And this opens up that Android debug bridge is initially created for developers to be able to troubleshoot their games and get logs from them and stuff like that. And because the security quote unquote of the machine is no longer existent at this point, they are able to do that. And that's one of the things that Edinsoft had mentioned was previously they were having issues with their game. Circus Interstellar wasn't running how they wanted it to. It wasn't performing as well as they wanted it to. And because of this, they were actually able to do performance analysis in real time. So
Awesome.
there are things not even just for us that might help developers be more encouraged to make things for people on here. It's not all about ROMs and so on. It could also be about new indie titles and stuff.
Now, this originally started being shared amongst people over at MCAP's Discord, where we welcomed some developers and things like that. For the general public, now that we are you're selling the first batch. Matter of fact, I think people say theirs are arriving tomorrow from your first batch of boards, Nix. You guys actually do have. There's two Discords. There's the Team Encoder Discord, and then there's the ACustomArcade Discord. Which one would be the best place for people to talk about the hardware and software combination on this. You guys
I'm
have if you
gonna say the
talked that
Team
one out
Encoder
yet?
Discord, just because people are gonna have more issues with software than they are gonna snapping a board onto a another board, unless they somehow can't follow the way an arrow points.
We're not talking about anybody here on that one. No, we're not. All right. Well, I don't see a channel yet. So right now, I know people have been talking in the general
In the
chat so
general,
far.
yeah, I'm gonna make one tonight, right when I release the software, just so we have that whole setup there. Typically, our Discord, the way we do things is you have to have a role for a certain thing. So there'll be an iiRcade role. You'll go in the roles channel, click that role, get put in there, and that way, if we decide to ping people, the only people being pinged are the ones that are actually interested in that information.
Awesome.
Okay. What I could do is I could put the invite inside the show notes for this show later. Let's see. Did you want me to go ahead and just make my own invite? Nope. Invites are disabled. I can't. Good boy.
Yeah, we have
All
one
right.
under rules.
All right. Let me look under rules here.
I-
So.
People were making invites to random channels, and it made things to
I
where they
know.
weren't seeing the welcome message, and so I disabled them. And yeah,
Okay, I see the one that's right there. So I'll go ahead and put that in the show notes and in a comment in this show. So if anybody who's getting aboard wants to go ahead and join their Discord, we'll have the link in the show notes on this a little later tonight. So by the time this goes into replay, it'll be there for people to go ahead and hit the link. And like I said, until you see a specific channel for the iiRcade, general chat is where people have been talking so far. Cool. All right.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Chat has not given me anything new on here so far. So I think we have hit all the subjects and stayed right around our 2-hour mark. Not bad.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, we did.
So
Not a
just,
marathon show. Good stuff.
No, you know I didn't have it in me today.
Probably not.
So for Ralph Reed and Brian Anderson, don't forget, shoot me an email, rascal@me.com, and I will hook you up with your winning codes. I know Shoeshine already got his sent to him in Discord. So just head that out there. I want to thank you guys for joining us. That was really cool. You hung out for a whole
man.
damn 2 hours. And of course, last night, marathon 5 hour and change with ME, getting all this stuff working, and then finally breaking either mine and or Nix's cabinets. We don't know how that happened. Wait, no, Nix, yours worked with Etensoft, so apparently we broke mine again. So
yeah, it's not. That's all backed up. It's fine. It's not a big deal. We're not.
No. I backed it up after we
No,
did all
no,
this
no,
shit.
no, no. Those configs are backed up.
Well, we're not going to do this tonight. We'll fix this on another night. I'm not
No,
going to play
it's-
anybody multiplayer yet because not everybody has their boards installed yet.
Well,
so
it's something where that specifically should probably be backed up anyways, just so that if other people mess their configurations up like this, then they can just go back to stock or default rather than having to restore the entire board and waiting 7 hours. The time's going to keep going up. Next time, I'm going to say it's 8 hours.
yeah, hey, just go ahead, say it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm seeing a bunch of folks in here saying it's their first time watching the show and they enjoyed
lot
it.
of love, man.
Guys,
Lot of
I
love in
do
this
want
chat.
to
I
thank
want to give you
everybody.
guys thanks for having us on, man. I don't think I've ever. I tune into your guys' show every once in a while, but I don't think I've ever actually hung around too much. I remember watching you guys play Mario Kart, but I think all three of us talk though on MCAP's Discord quite a bit, even if I've never been around your show.
Cool. All right, well, guys, and by the way, you two, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the show. All right, just
Yeah,
saying.
buddy.
And that goes for everybody else.
I'll do it on all 7 accounts I have.
Yes.
I've got about 5
Do
or
it.
6. I just got a new company email account that's Gmail based. I'm like, okay, that's another sub for me. Thank you.
Exposed.
Yeah.
We need to start making videos about this.
Jeez.
He's falsifying subscriber counts.
Unfortunately, Google's kind of smart. You can't use the old alias trick. Like for your emails where you can
dots.
go ahead and do dots or other things like that. Because it's funny that so many people don't realize there are multiple aliases you could do in your Gmail accounts, even for things like registering an account somewhere and making it a specific email. It still goes to the one account, but yeah, you can't do that, unfortunately, to go ahead and subscribe to yourself 105 times. I've tried. Thank you, Tech Zombie. Really appreciate it. And thank you to, I've seen so many new names here in the chat.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks
It's
for
really
joining,
good to see some new
everybody.
folks here. And if this is the kind of content you like, this is what Sean and I do once a week. We either have a guest on or we go ahead and just talk it out with you guys in chat. The chat always drives the show. And that's why we like having, everybody show up here for live shows. But guys, you two, Mystery Encoder and NIX, thank you again for spending 2 hours with us here in the basement arcade, and keep up the great work. We'll keep following things going on in the discords, and if anything major comes up, maybe I'll get you guys back on, and we'll do some more live demos that may or may not work. Ettensoft wants to be on next week. Ettensoft,
buddy.
We could talk about it. Definitely. Maybe we can actually get live games working.
Something that I was talking to them
We
about
get
earlier
Doom
is
2 going.
I've wanted to. I can't commit to this, and neither can they because they have something to work on. But I've talked to Ettensoft quite a bit, and I've told them that I want to make a game at some point, and so I want to make a light gun game and then make it on the iiRcade because that'd be interesting.
Badass.
But that's probably like 6 months to a year out with how many freaking projects I've got lined up.
That's still awesome.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
are you committing to a game that's the quality of Jong Pong, or are you talking about something a little bit more robust?
I don't know.
And by the way, Michael, no diss. And I mean, I probably couldn't code that myself because I haven't written a damn thing outside of frigging assembly language, and God knows how long. Yes, that's how old I am. Assembly language.
It'll
So
be Encoder Pong,
there you go.
but you use light guns to control the things. It's still a light gun game, right?
Well, yeah, you guys shoot it when it gets into the zone.
No, you just control the paddle with it. You don't actually use the trigger at all.
Imagine that,
You
just
just
moving the
move
gun
the
around
paddle.
up and down. That's it. That's all you
You're
do.
just back there, just
Oh,
going.
man.
What are you doing? Is it a fishing game? Oh, hey, we could do a fishing game with it too.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, because
Yeah,
it just
you gotta
follows the
pull gun
cursor.
back and move the gun upwards to get your
Yep.
fish. Oh man, see, we're coming up with great ideas. We're gonna do one of those like those old school '80s. Was it like 10-in-1 sports games or something that you'd get like stadium events kind of thing?
Yep.
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 There
We'll,
you go.
we'll do light gun stadium events where there's just little mini games where you do really stupid crap with a light gun.
Perfect. Perfect.
We'll call it stupid light gun games.
Yeah, there you go. Sounds great.
All right. Well, guys, thanks again. I think this is a good place to end it. What do you think, Sean?
I believe it is, man.
I mean,
We had a great
I think we
show.
maybe had some news in the show, but I didn't have much to say.
Yep.
The Casino Cade. Did anybody watch the Casino Cade video at 8 a.m. Eastern today?
Nick's ordered one.
You did not.
Dude.
My wife, man, listen.
Okay, I'm
All
not going
right,
to
well, that's a
judge.
good excuse.
I'm not
That's
going to
good.
judge. But
I showed her. She was like, "You have to buy it." I said,
well,
"Will you let
it's
me
funny
get
you
all
say
this?"
that
It's-
because when you watch the videos and you look at the photographs that they have on Best Buy's website, that's the audience. They are going for the ladies who watch the game shows or like to sit in front of a what you call it? Get me machine. Hello,
Slot machine.
thank you.
I'm looking at comments. Sorry.
Mine went boom. So yeah, I mean,
The
I
lady
actually
in
saw
that
somebody in the
video-
chat that said they're going to start chain smoking in their house and having somebody bring them cheap, well liquor while they're just sitting there doing the casino
man,
cade.
on the lady in the video that was on the right side with Cyrus looked like she was either confused, scared to be there, or I'm just not sure
Dude,
what.
dude,
was
I
going
know.
on.
I had a
yes.
feeling she might be there under duress.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I was expecting to see one of these, help me.
Yeah.
It did not look normal.
No.
There was
I
something
agree. I'm
strange.
glad other people found that because I'm like,
Yeah, no, that
He
was
does not look
almost a little bit
comfortable at
creepy. I couldn't tell if she was
Yeah.
under duress or constipated. I'm not sure.
yeah.
No,
So-
it
she,
was,
she needs her prunes, okay? She's playing on a casino cade.
yeah. It was.
It's funny too because somebody else I was watching
Bad.
that with, we were kind of watching on and talking online. He looks at the top. He goes, "Is that going to spin?" I go, "Did you ask me that frigging question?"
Yeah. Okay.
I said, "They say it's a lit marquee. I call it a topper. And that's what it more looks like is a topper to me." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Is that going to spin?" I go, "No." They
So-
put 10-inch and 8-inch monitors in this thing, and you want that big ass thing on the top to spin?
I wish
Come
they
on.
changed that, man. I was interested in it. I wish they had a
So-
bigger screens on that, but I'll
What's
pass.
interesting is that Nix and I are both pretty like we're tinkerers when it comes to this stuff. And when we were talking about the CasinoCade before that, he showed me that he had some kind of like HTML casino stuff already, sort of, before even this stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, man, I want to make like my own little CasinoCade." And I get excited by stuff like that because I'm like, dude, we can totally hook into that and start making some lights flash and stuff and make it all go crazy when the slots go. And
Hell yeah.
bringing that stuff into the physical world is cool. That's why I loved those virtual pinball cabinets, because you can trigger the solenoids.
Yep.
And so it was like, dude, we could totally do that. And he's like, yeah, I could make the hardware to make the lights light up and da da da. And I think that's the cool thing with him and I working together. It's almost like anything is possible. And meme.
Yeah, it's funny. Besides the touchscreen on that, I mean, I could sit there and run slot machines and all sorts of other stuff, freaking web-based ones, just using BYOG on my my atgames. I could literally BYOG to the cloud, open up Chrome, go to a website that has slot machines, and do that all day long. Hell, I could probably do that to real gambling sites and be blowing large sums of money doing slot machines that way.
On the
So-
iArcade.
Fun fact: a lot of the gambling sites, they have demos of the actual slot machines. And so what I did was I took a Chrome base, right, which is a Chrome OS device
Yep.
that has a touch screen and a screen and everything just built in. And so I made a website. I made a Chrome extension that loads it full screen, and you just sit there playing slots. It's awesome.
Cool.
So
And I
already
do
made
love
his
a
own
lot of the
casino
slots
cake.
that I see in the casino. I would love something like that, like play Wizard of Oz, like a lot of the cool games I see there. But
But that's
And
what's
they
funny.
have them all.
That's
It's
what
great.
he's saying is he
Damn.
made one already before
Yeah.
this with a touch
So
screen.
I literally bought the CasinoCade so I can port that into the shell.
nice.
So you're basically going to gut it day one.
No, the wife is going to have to get her fill once she stops playing it. then-
Okay.
Then you do okay.
Yeah.
Well,
As soon as you keep walking by it and seeing the dust on it, then you'll be like, and it's time.
Being that it's an
Yeah,
arcade
now it's
one-up,
mine.
it doesn't mean we won't be able to access it either, right? So it's possibly just loads that on there with everything else.
I mean, can't we just get a Android-based slot machine game, load it onto iArcades, and use the gun to stop the
The reels?
Totally, yeah, why not? Maybe that'll be one of the stupid games. It's part of the stupid games pack.
Hell yeah. That'd be good.
No, honestly, I might end up getting one eventually just for science. That's why I have most of the arcade one-ups that I have, and I'm sure that'll make Nick's happy. The reason him and I even started talking was because of his countercade, and he's like, how did you guys get Battle Sarah running here? And then it turns out the Pac-Man Jr. and the countercade that he have, is it a countercade or a partycade?
The countercade is the Frogger.
Yeah, so the Frogger and the Pac-Man Jr. are running basically the exact same PCB. So we are simultaneously working on both of those cabinets at the same time.
Nice.
Speaking of exact same, I was thinking after all the hard work you put into Revolution X, can't that be easily duplicated to its sister or brother game, you think?
Yeah, it should. But so the deal there, since we're covering it, we should probably talk about the fact that it does require these MAME configs and stuff. Which the idea and the reason why you said there would be more buttons on that app is because we're going to have to add buttons to pull the MAME configs.
Yep.
And so the idea is kind of creating a community share of those configurations because they're not ROMs, they're not proprietary, they're not licensed, they belong to MAME. So I have no problem enabling people sharing those configurations in large packs or whatever.
And that's very
where-
similar to other communities where, like, you share, game
Artwork,
controller configurations.
whatever.
I mean,
Yeah.
even on Steam, you can share Steam configs.
Yeah. So I have no problem with people doing that. In our Discord, we tend to look the other way if people do share ROMs, but we don't endorse or promote it whatsoever ourselves.
It's the same in this house.
So if it happens, it happens. We're not trying to do anything to prevent it, but we're also not trying to do anything to encourage it. But yeah, so the idea for as far as the legitimate side is, we're hoping that the community can help and create some of those configurations for the light guns, because they are a little bit confusing, as we found out staying up really late. But that'll hopefully enable everybody to be able to, play more light gun games and test stuff out and play around.
Yes.
Sounds awesome. Well, we've hit a lot of possibilities here, giving you a shopping list of things to do besides the shopping list that you've already given yourself. So I guess you better get encoding, dude. All right, Sean, do you have anything else?
That's it, buddy. I'm good. How about you?
I got my second win, but I've got a feeling as soon as we, stop the broadcast.
You're doing a live stream tonight, or you taking?
I don't know. I'm going to play anything tonight.
There might be one more thing to mention, and Nix has to confirm this.
Uh-oh.
The batch 2 pre-orders ending
August 4th.
Huh?
August 4th.
Yeah, so just so everybody's aware, if anybody's been on the fence and hasn't bought stuff because they're waiting for software or waiting to see what would happen or so on, August 4th might be the last time that you actually have to be able to buy one of those boards, because after that there may not be a third batch unless there's an extremely high demand. And I know there's been a lot of people on the Facebook pages and stuff saying like, well, I'll wait until I see the backup work.
Yeah, dude, I was seeing
backup worked. I can confirm it. The backup worked. All right.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so the way, when I order boards, I can't order like 562, right? I have to order in some like whole number or rounded number. So like I'd have to order 600. So I will order the next tier up over what the pre-orders that I get. So I'll have some extra boards, but I can't guarantee that I'm going to have boards for like months and months and months. It's not something that I'm planning on regularly carrying in the store.
Yep.
And this actually brings up a good point. Although what we've been doing so far has been on Gen 1s. I know you guys are having, a lot of fun trying to get people to give up their gold boards for you to potentially not destroy while you're, learning all the stuff about the gold boards. I know there's no firm, roadmap on this. Is it still in the, in consideration if we get, enough gold boards to test with? Could there be a, way to do that? And NIX, I guess that's all new hardware then, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, it would have to be another hardware.
It's the dongle.
It's perfect.
Nice. I mean, I figure it's got USB ports built into it. Can't we just plug into the USB and
unfortunately not. No,
I know. I was teasing.
So there is So there was a rumor from somebody that was a developer that front USB port could have been used with the debugging interface that we're using to do some of the stuff we're doing now, but I can't confirm that in any way. We have access to the board as far as software. We can't back it up, and until we have that capability to like back it up and do stuff, it's just not worth the risk of releasing anything for it.
And that's what I've always liked about your software. Even when I saw originally the stuff you were doing on arcade 1-ups, I think one of the ones I was playing with was, didn't you have one to fix input lag on one of the fighter cabs?
Yep.
So I remember doing that, and sure enough, back up, do this, everything. There's safety nets in here, and that's one thing I like about it is you don't release something that just goes ahead and injects some code without being able to back up and restore. So that's very cool. Really
to an
appreciate
extent,
that.
we definitely try to make sure whatever we're doing is safe to the point where even if somebody does something in the wrong order or whatever. I mean, typically I try to make it to where it's not even possible to do it in the wrong order, but even in that case, it's usually pretty solid, which is why we try to do things the way we do.
Unless it's a live stream. Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
yeah, and,
you know
and
what?
even with the hardware, right? Like, this is the board without the case on it, and people are saying like, don't waste time on the case, ship the boards out sooner. And it's like, you can plug this in wrong, just like this. Like, how do you know how to plug this in? You could plug it in too far to the front, to the left, to the right, and if you do that, you could damage your board, and you cannot get another one.
Yep.
So not to talk poorly on Glenn's deck or anything like that, but the USB adapter that he offers to get his deck connected actually scares me a little bit, considering my own experience with my board, because it's just these 4 pins that stick out, and Nix tried to make sure that this was as safe as possible on the board that he released, to where, I don't know if you guys saw Glenn's video earlier, we were showing off his deck and the adapter that he plugs in.
I did not catch it. I've been kind of busy.
So what's scary is it's like a female USB on one end, and it's just these 4 pins on the other, with no real guiding, so that you know which set of the pins it goes into. So you have to be really careful when installing it, because in my case, I have 2 Gen 1 boards. One of my Gen 1 boards right now, the programming port doesn't work, but the Wi-Fi does. My other Gen 1 board, the Wi-Fi works, the Wi-Fi doesn't work on that one, but the OTG port doesn't. And that's because of me sitting here trying to connect pins and stuff before we had these boards. And so you got to be like, it's what he's designed was foolproof, but what Nix has designed is foolproof. It's idiot proof. It's safe.
Yeah.
You can't plug it in wrong. Like, even if you plug it in backwards, you're still gonna be hitting the buttons and stuff. It's not gonna go flat on the surface. You'll know that you're doing it wrong. There's an arrow and stuff like that. So just if you're gonna go with just Glenn's deck, I'm not telling you not to. Just be careful and make sure you're following those instructions very carefully, because there is, when you plug USB in, you're putting voltage out. So if you're plugging it into a computer, at least you're putting voltage out. And so if you put voltage into the wrong pins, you never know what happens.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I see many chats about the price of the board. I mean, what does it go for now? Retail 30?
$24.99
Okay, and plus shipping or free shipping?
plus shipping. Yeah, no,
Plus
it's
shipping.
plus shipping.
So in the 32, 34 range is what people usually end up, right? I think. Okay.
Yeah, mostly it's between $30 and $33 if you just do like regular shipping or priority shipping. There's some states like Washington, shipping is outrageous to Washington because they have like
Yeah, you
one
said
guy
that.
in a Jeep that's like going up a mountain to deliver this one package. They charge like, it's a lot of money. But I also ship to Canada and international. So, it's I can't do free shipping to Canada, right?
It's a great price. You can.
I mean, even if it's
great.
just to go ahead and create a backup of your machine, flat
It's
out.
worth it. It's
Yeah.
it's a great price.
So cool, man. Totally cool. All right, Sean, why don't you go ahead and
We
take
taking
this
us
for the
out of
night.
here, man. Yeah, we had a great show. Again, I appreciate Nick's Mystery Encoder. Thank you so much for coming on. We had a blast. Give a like on the way out, guys. We had a lot of new people coming in. If you enjoyed the show, please give us a like on the way out. We'd love to see you again. Subscribe if you haven't yet to keep up to date with all the latest uploads and live shows. Join the Discord to BS with us. It's a great time over there, but most importantly, please just block Console Fanboy. Love y'all. Thank you, guys. See you next time on That Gaming Show.
All right, we're out.